We've got a matchup for you. I'm really, really excited about this one. We've got El Matador against TheRapl. Before we get into it, Soup, there's a draft in front of you. There's some big gods getting snatched up for both players. What are you seeing?
Double Kronos ban. We've gotten to the point where we see a double Kronos ban. This god has been immensely popular these past series. Isis banned out for TheRapl and Thor banned out for El Matador. So I know that Rebel has been looking really, really strong on Isis. Maybe that's why Matador wants to lock that pick away from Rebel. And we do see the first pick Ra as well. So yeah, for some reason, I think Rebel is the only player remaining that really still values Ra and Isis highly. And then on the other end of things, Matador with Frey, Rebel with Thor and Loki. I think that's the other thing I wanted to say.
You say, I think Mister is also valuing Ra. Maybe not quite as a first picky as TheRapl, but I've definitely seen him grabbing him in like the second round.
Okay.
I guess, yeah, it might just be because TheRapl is, I don't know, it doesn't matter. We're going to be watching Isis versus Noir on Bamboo Grove. Oh, baby. This is going to be a fun one. This is going to be a very fun one. I'm a fan of this matchup from both sides. This is just a nice, exciting fireworks, defensive, offensive, timing attack, Bamboo Grove nonsense here. But what I'm more excited about, Soup, is both these guys are mechanical gods in RTS. They've got the like multitasking down. They've got their raids down. They've got their micro down. There's going to be a lot of good stuff here. But Soup, let's get into it. Game number 1, El Matador, TheRapl. Who's going to be the victor?
That's not quite right. We'll get there, I'm sure. There we go.
Hell, and we're into the game on the map. Bamboo Grove. On the bottom of the map, we have ourselves TheRapl playing as Noir. And on the top of the map, already casting his creation as well. But on the top of the map, we have El Matador playing as Isis.
That creation by TheRapl, I don't necessarily hate it. I don't know the math behind it. What is it that he's actually accomplishing, getting 2 clay peasants out here on the arcade gauge? What do you think? Is it just going to be for a faster advance into a faster second town center, or what do you think is the idea here?
Well, I mean, I can tell you the math. 120 seconds with 2 villages, gathering roughly 240 resources. No, that's not right. Yes, it is. Roughly 240 resources, give or take. Probably take more than give.
Right.
What can you realistically get from that early game? An extra upgrade?
An extra upgrade? I think it's just a slightly faster advance into a slightly faster TC. And also, I gotta correct you. These clay peasants have a 0.8 gather rate versus a Greek villager with 1 gather rate. So it's not 2.4. In fact, it's probably more like, it's not 240, it's more like 175 or something like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can't do that math. 0.8 times 2 times 2. Nah, we're just going with 1. We'll it's too hard for me.
Either way.
4:30 a.m.
Yeah, you're excused. The point is, it's not going to be that much, and I'm excited to see TheRapl. What does he actually accomplish here?
This isn't the first time I've seen this. I saw this from Kavoth as well. Both of these guys valuing the early clay peasants. I think you're right. A faster advance time. I actually don't think it's a faster advance time. Like it's just a 2:30. This is very possible to get without the clay peasants. But it's going to be a faster second town center. Maybe. Actually, I don't even think it is.
Surely
the more I think about it, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, you're going to have the resources. What else is he? I don't want to analyze it too much. He's going to get a second town center very quickly, I'm sure.
Well, this is, we're just observing now, so we don't even have to do the math. That's all on TheRapl. All we need to look for is the timing. When does TheRapl start building the second TC? And then we can make the conclusion ourselves. Is it worth it? Is it not? And we saw that earlier today, right? Recon using creation in the classical age immediately, right? Oh, was that
Recon
yesterday?
today. Not today. Must have been yesterday.
Ah, I'm sorry, I'm mixing things up. I was casting yesterday. So Recon used creation as soon as he had classical age, giving him 4 clay peasants. I'm
Mm,
personally kind of inclined to like that approach a bit more than this archaic approach.
yeah. Nonetheless, how to comes through. Rapple getting the resources he needs. He hasn't really built anything. He's got his Cheong Chi here, and he's going to be looking for some raids with that one. While uh, the Pioneer, he did actually get the I can't remember what the text called, but it allows your Pioneers to pick up relics. So that's one big thing that he does manage to get there.
Oh yeah, and he's forcing the Pharaoh to come over here just to heal his friend, and this is good because this is not what you want to use your Pharaoh on. And
No. Oh, and he's
yeah.
getting harassed in the gold mine as well. All those villagers getting pushed off. Like
Oh,
Rapple doesn't need a kill here. He's just no alt S. The villagers here just kind of a mind of their own. And El Matador not prepared for this at all. I almost think it's 100% necessary for the ISIS player to just go for a 4-minute advance time. But El Matador has gone full greed, and he is suffering for it.
he could have easily actually walled off that location with his own houses in the temple had he just built a bit more securely. But I think he could go for this type of advance if he wanted to. But if he just decide to do that, he needs to wall it up with houses and potentially even a large wall as well. But this is such a good attack. 4 of these pioneers, that's enough to assert some serious dominance on this position. Oh my god,
He
almost taking down a
loses a
mill.
villager there as well. This is not going well for El Matador at the start of this game at all. And he's also brought his Pharaoh off to the side here. He's got to bring that Pharaoh back over and actually take a fight. These pioneers are getting too much value, way too much value here.
For sure. And it's not like pioneers are trash units that fall off over time. Not at all. Rebel is going to need these units later on anyways to either defend against myth unit raids or against Ancestors Eclipse, whatever it is. These units are necessary. So it's not even much of an investment that he's making.
I do see a... Oh, oh,
My
oh.
god, no, no. Good micro there from Matador.
Big bad Qualfu here who says, "Get out of there, Mr. Anubite." Says you can't be attacking that guy with an Anubite.
It's a huge plague. It's a huge plague of servants, to be fair, though. Although I don't know, for some reason those snakes are not dealing damage to that hero Koafu.
So Plague of Serpents has a multiplier of like 0.01 or it's like no damage against
versus villagers, of course, and Koafu are
is.
villagers. I forgot that in the
That's
moment
right.
because of the immense damage this guy was dishing out.
It's true. He is a big hero, and he's got a big boulder he's throwing,
and he's got many of them, and this hero Koafu has got more range than regular ones. Plus, obviously, as we saw, he's got bonus damage against the myth units. He can even take down the obelisk. He's got a small amount of crush damage, so even though his regular attack deals mostly pierce armor or pierce damage, he does have crush damage to take down obelisks, for example.
Yeah, and now Matador has got himself 1,100 food in the bank. Like, I think he is just completely thrown off in this game. His build order is whatever he's going for is just not worked out in the slightest. He didn't lose any villages, but he's behind. He's well and truly behind. It looks like he's going for a fast heroic here, which when you go through Anubis, you don't have access to Ancestors Eclipse.
No,
so that Nephthys isn't going to be very strong. You can go for, I don't know, you can go for like Hathor here, I guess. As we see Abundance to finish up, and Golmang has got a choice here for the TheRapl, but he's not going to be able to afford that for quite some time.
Yeah, I think Matador is just improvising here. He never intended on going one town center Anubis into Sobek. This was never the plan. But just because he got disrupted so much in the early game, this is the best that he can come up with in the current situation.
Yeah, I don't think you can't get a gold star on this specific map. You're gonna have to break through these walls on the side, and even if you do, there's a gold mine behind his base. There's a gold mine to the left of his base. This is And there's also Earth Wall to add insult to injury here. RaPl is consistently scouting with that Cheong Chi as well, so you can't like there's not gonna be any sort of like RaPl knows what's coming for him at this point, yeah, or at least he must assume like he knows. As we do see one snipe on a peasant there, as the Anubites will run around dodging arrows and then jump out.
The Anubites can jump in and out. That's obviously really good, but it still does hinder their movement around the main base here by a lot. And we did see the Pioneers managing to get some damage dealt to them up until they had that jump back on cooldown. Metador finally getting a second TC for himself. He's almost up through Sobek. Doesn't have gold for Amygdal, which, I don't know, it's kind of sketchy.
It is. There is one angle here for ISIS to bring this game back. I mean, he's not out of the game. And there's a huge villager differential here. But the one angle here that I see for El Matador is that late game mass elephant sort of Thoth, just a crazy army that is very difficult for China to deal with. But getting there is going to be a mission in of itself.
And even then, Rebel does have those halberdiers, which are good against cavalry. And even if the approach is chariot archers, he's got Wuzu javelineers, he's got white horse cavalry as well, which are actually really, really good cavalry units, even though you can only trim them from the Baule. Once again, a peasant pick here from those two Anubites, and there's a big locust swarm, 3 additional peasants going down. Even the Pioneers taking good damage.
Back over there to snipe another Qual. You're not going to kill off the Qualfu on there, unfortunately. These Qualfu kind of roleplay a little bit like the citizens of Atlantean in that you generally don't get those picks with a Locust. But a nice little bit of damage for him nonetheless. It's all good for him. And he'll take whatever he can.
Yeah, for sure. And Matador staying in the heroic age for now. He's producing chariot archers and camels. And yeah, Rebel, he's going heroic age now. I don't think he's quite ready for this attack, save for obviously having this wall up. But once it's down, I think he's being forced to retreat from here.
I don't think he can stay here, but he's not in no rush to leave at the moment either. Once the wall goes, obviously, it's just time to run. But he's got so many resources behind him that I don't think there's any problems here.
He's got a tremendous gold mine in the back, as well as on the left side here, as we see. So yeah,
there's just so many resources. This is the minor god with forest protection from memory, right? Like
yeah, it is.
This makes it even harder to get any sort of timing attacks. It's not a timing attack from Matador because he did decide to grab himself that second talent, and if not delayed, he's just looking for as many little raids as he can, picking off villages and trying to equalize villager count and bring himself back into the game. He's doing a good job of it.
That was a great raid. He killed a Kuafu and 3 additional peasants there. And on top of that, he already dealt a lot of damage with the Anubites. He is slowly putting himself into a nice position here. Rebel, he's gone through Gomang. He's already pre-queued. I forgot the name. It's Gong Gong.
Gong. Yeah,
Gong Gong.
And he's got this is a lot of fun. He's also got that vibrant something, which boosts his wood income into the stratosphere.
Yeah. It makes his face prettier, very importantly.
Vibrant land, there you go.
So yeah, it's just heroic age aggression from El Matador. Do you like this approach? I don't think he's going to be able to do much more now.
I don't know. I think, like you've already said, this is feeling very improvised from El Matador. He's gotten a lot of value. I don't think that this Great Flood is going to do a whole lot against ISIS. He's probably got the monuments in his main base to protect anything there. His army getting swept away here. He can heal it back up with the priests. We are now seeing some of those halberdiers to come through, which do counter the camel riders. But yeah, Matador needs to open this base up. So killing off these Earth Walls while he's got this chance is quite nice.
We all know by now that Chinese in the Mythic Age is extremely potent. But what is Rebel going for here? Is it the Tiger Cavalry?
Yeah, Tiger Cavalry are insane. They're very expensive. Very expensive. They beat out Camel Riders. They beat out Elephants. They beat out Chariot Archers. The only unit that really has a chance against them in the Egyptian sort of roster is the Spearmen.
The
And
Horus Spearman.
Horus Spearman, yeah. You do have Anubis Spears here, which
True.
will be performing a little bit better. But yeah, Mel Matador is definitely going to be having to face those. But the hard part for China is getting the food for them. They cost so much food. And like, is you think 30 farms is enough? It's not. You think 40 farms is enough? It's not. You think 50 farms is enough? We're getting closer. You need to have a lot of food income to support those.
You also need a bunch of Baolays, probably realistically 3 at the least, if you want to make like a majority army consisting of Tiger Cavalry. So yeah, you need the technologies as well. You need champion cavalry. You need both of the minor god technologies. You probably need the levy upgrades too. So it's definitely not a cheap unit to get by. There's the Qinglong.
There is one thing I haven't considered, which is I don't know exactly how well Desert Winds Dark Waters Cavalry do against those Deuterinos.
Yeah, interesting.
Might be closer. But these are like new Wa super upgraded with Gong Gong as well. Tiger Cavalry. So
What is it? Nuwa has the innate bonus of, is it plus 10% cavalry
plus
HP?
10% HP. Yeah, HP.
It's not a big bonus by any means, but on top of everything else that you get from the minor gods and the big conversion onto the Petsukas. No, but on top of everything else, Nuwa players will definitely take that.
And Rappel's still holding on to this Great Flood. Like, he's like, I don't need to use it, he says. I'm just going to hold. We see Thoth actually coming in, so it's not going to be any sort of Osiris shenanigans. And we are indeed seeing those Tiger Cavalry slowly trickle out as the upgrades to come through for the heroes as well.
Rebel is getting another he's getting a hero upgrade from the Imperial Academy. That means he won't get that last stand hero cavalry upgrade. This is gotta be a mistake from Rebel. He should not be getting that upgrade.
Last stand is really, really big for those Tiger Cavalry as well. But I mean, is there really any rush here for Apple? Can he just sit back, just get all of his things, and then call it a day? There's going to be a meteor coming for him, though.
I think there's a rush. He needs, because you see Thoth is coming in. There's going to be, it's a really sick stun there. But he needs as good Tiger Cavalry as he can get, because there's, look at the army composition here: siege towers, camels, chariot archers. Tiger Cavalry is exactly what he needs here. So just wasting all your favor on hero upgrades when you need that last stand upgrade is not a good thing.
Yeah, and behind all of this, like the villager differential is now equal. We are seeing a town center getting snuck by Rapple on the left-hand corner. A little bit of a no-no from El Matador to not be spotting that, but nonetheless, Rapple doing his best to try and break through here as El Matador slowly but surely, I think he's holding, and he's going to have this Thoth, and he's going to have a huge amount of units to come through, but does it matter when Rapple gets the full population Tiger Cav and El Matador's got no Spearman? This is going to be a big question mark. I don't know.
The last stand upgrade is in now, so now Rebel, all he needs is the heavy cavalry as well as the champion cavalry. And then...
Well, and one thing here for El Matador is this town center, farms on top of it. Now the meteor hurts even more.
Yeah, there's even army nearby. Maybe they will be able to go back to safety, but yeah. Taking down, maybe that town center, certainly taking down a bunch of farms, even towers nearby. 2 towers getting
and the villagers getting smashed there, as well as the chariot archers going to town on them. But now Gong Gong comes through, and he's sending the chariots forward. Oh, and the stun on top of it. I've never seen that, but that's going to be all of those units there getting cleaned up for. But even the villagers still getting chased down as El Matador's not done there.
What an interaction. The Great Flood into stun. I never expected it like that. But, dude, that meteor was so big. I think Rebel, he's still in a good spot, obviously, but he did not prepare for that to happen. I don't think he's happy to see that at all.
Yeah, not at all, but here's the thing. That Valley of the Kings tech, that's coming through. El Matador, once it's in, the fact that he's been behind on economy this entire game is not going to really matter. He's all of a sudden he gets a huge income influx. His population is going to shoot up to 220 very, very quickly. He's going to get all of his dudes in, but the big question is, can El Matador continue to win fights against these cavalry as they're going to get more and more powerful as this game goes on? They're only at medium, which is why they seem to be not doing so well. Sooner or later, heavy is going to come through, then champion, then what does El Matador do?
Kind of crazy that the heavy cavalry upgrade is not in yet. I think maybe a bit of a blunder from Rebel continually producing them before getting that very, very important heavy cavalry upgrade. That said, though, there's so many units here, so many heroes in the back as well. And I do think Rebel has got the Gong Gong hero upgrades to boot. So not only are the Tiger Cavalry very effective here, so are the heroes.
Yeah, and oh man, this Pharaoh right in the center of the map, I'm loving it. Like forward Valley of the Kings. Big doll, beautiful. We finally see a little bit of a ghost building to come in there as TheRapl wasn't paying attention. His cavalry are going to turn around the other way. But I kind of actually like this idea from El Matador. Why not just get a couple mercenary infantry when needed to give a bit of a front line? They've got bonus damage versus Cav. They're actually really good. And wait, Medjai doesn't exist in this game, does it? I'm trying to remember.
No,
there's no Medjai. There's no boosted mercenary.
Unfortunately. But, you know, look at Matador's base on just the side of the map. There's so many gold mines available. So he can definitely afford sending these mercenaries into the fray. And yeah, Vodka's just finding out heavy cavalry is coming in now for Rebel. He's going to be very happy when that hits him.
Yeah, we're seeing the raids to come through as well. For breaking through that wall, can hit the gold, can hit the wood, can hit the food. Matador's controlling these chariots nicely. One other option here that Matador does have now, he's got himself that sun-dried mud brick, is massing towers. Towers plus chariot archers, plus crenellations, ballistics. It's always going to be an option. Stock standard Egyptian play. Once you get to full pop, then you can just start slamming those down.
Yeah, and the Chinese siege weapons notoriously ineffective. I don't know, ineffective, but not as powerful as other civs, at least.
Definitely one of their weaknesses is the problem of going full chariot archers versus these cavalry is that realistically, if the cavalry get on top of the chariots, they will be dying here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and he can keep garrisoning in and out, but eventually those Tiger Cav will get on top of their targets. And now Matador has no more buildings to garrison into, does he?
No.
The Tiger Cav is so tanky.
And the population for TheRapl is staying in a nice little position here. We are seeing Mercenary to come through to help out. He is getting nice trades here. The Spearmen are starting to come through as well. A little bit too late to some degree, but if you can get those upgrades and that gives him a front line, it does force TheRapl to start making some Chuko Nu.
He's got them in the back now too. I don't know, just 5 for now, but he's definitely making them, and that's gonna hurt for the Spearmen. They're on the medium or they're heavy right now. Either way, chariot archers, spearmen, and a few camels in front versus, oh my god, the heroes and the Tiger Cav. These are just prime units. Prime units of, I think we can all agree by now, the best Mythic Age civ in the game.
Yeah, this is what you want. And now we see the Qinglong as well. This thing's even more brutal as it's going to be flying through, floating in and hit huge damage onto those chariot archers. He doesn't
go for it.
Well, he misclicks to some degree. I don't know. And then the dude dies, so it gets no value. But El Matador going to be microing his little socks off to try and keep himself alive in this game. And he's doing a nice job of it.
Yeah, and this is despite his Pharaoh actually not working this entire time. He's not utilizing the Valley of the Kings because the Pharaoh is continually pushed off of this location, forced to garrison, thus never getting that double production that I think he needs it at this stage.
Yeah.
And no. Pharaoh's gonna go down here.
Pharaoh goes down means a stop to the double production completely. As the Qinglong, you got to snipe that down as the.
I think Matador needs side builds. He's clearly not able to win the head-on confrontation against this rebel army. So what you need to do
Yeah.
instead is try to make a miracle happen with I don't know, catapult walls or something crazy like that.
Yeah, the
Is
thing
this?
is with the chariot archers, when you're playing like this, the way that El Matador's playing, you don't have APM to get side builds down.
Nah.
Your everything is being spent on this micro at the moment, and those Qinglong, oof, oh, the chariot archers are feeling a little bit of pain there.
Yeah. That special attack is so good. That's like the Qinglong without the special attack, not the greatest of myth units, but when that special attack hits a group of archers or a group of villagers, you really see the power of that dragon.
And TheRapl gonna slowly start finding the real advantage here once this town center gets taken
Oh
down.
yeah.
He's going to move forward. He's got the resources to grab it. He's also got an ability to start spamming out towers as well, if need be. With the fact he's gone through and grabbed Vibrant Land, that would boost the tech. His wood income is through the roof. You can't really
He's got
see
hold
it
to, so
because he's spending a ton of. Yes.
He's got advanced
defenses
defenses.
as well, right?
He's got advanced defenses through Hotu, significantly nerfed, obviously because it was broken beyond belief before. But at this point in the game, it takes 25 seconds to convert a wall chip to a tower. It's really good.
Yep. And you don't even have to convert them all. You can just set wall ships up all over the map. And then whenever you feel like it, we can go, all right, this position, let's just get a whole bunch down. And
Yes.
they'll come up later. So you can threaten it without even putting the time in. Really, it's a really strong late game way to play.
Well, we're talking about that, but the way Rebel's playing, he's just auto-queuing units into Matador, and it's working out so well for him. Rebel takes it.
Yeah.
GG, well played.
Yeah, well played there by TheRapl. I mean, this was all coming back to that early game. Like, I don't know, Soup. I don't think in a game against China you can go for these greedy builds, especially if you've got exposed gold mines, exposed food, exposed wood lines. Like, they're gonna get damage done onto you. So why take the greed when you can just say, "Hey, I'll go a bit quicker up, and we'll take a slightly different route. Maybe we're going to be behind. I don't know. Let's call it 100 resources, 120 resources on where we might have otherwise been, and ensure that we have a good position so that we can actually do something that we want."
Yeah. I mean, looking at the way that this game went, you're obviously right in your assessment. We see here 4 minutes, and the Pharaoh is now pulled to heal a priest back up. But this was the least of Matador's problems. More pioneers
Yeah.
coming in, and just villagers forced to pull in and out of that tower, and priests being produced just to heal the villagers back up. This was such a brutal start for Matador.
Yeah. I mean, he could have walled like this one position, and he could have been as greedy as he wanted to. Right? Just one big fat wall up to the houses, and all of a sudden the pioneers can't do anything here.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
he didn't
So
even need a whole wall, to be honest. He could have just walled up to the straggler tree.
I will say, in Matador's defense, I haven't seen Nuwa played like this. I saw it yesterday with Recon doing the same, actually versus TheRapl, and it worked out extremely well as well. But before that game and this one, I haven't seen Nuwa played like this. But obviously now, seeing how effective it is, it's something you gotta prepare for.
Yeah, I mean there was the pioneer nerf, but this was something I was seeing I think I was seeing quite a lot of at the start. You just like
Okay.
the early pressure with pioneers against someone who doesn't have like a cavalry unit. Like if you've got Atalanta, it doesn't work. If you've got Achilles, it doesn't work. But if you got, I guess if you got the Pharaoh in there, I don't think it works either. Like if Matador just brought the Pharaoh over, I think maybe he was fine as well. Maybe that's he just didn't know to bring the Pharaoh over.
Where
Once you
was
hit
the
the
Pharaoh?
classical
Because
age,
the Pharaoh was
it was
healing the priest. Did he just leave the
yeah,
position?
yeah. He was just sitting on the back, empowering up. But
Ah, that's
yeah,
not good.
and and this forest protection thing is so nice. It not only does it snare the opponent's units, it deals damage to all of them, and it heals your units. So
Yeah.
it makes it so hard to actually push. The only real way to break this is to have such an overwhelming force of units and siege to then actually kill the building that's been forest protected. And in this situation, the town center, that was the big building that needed to get taken down. And so you need a big force to break through there. And El Matador didn't really have that there.
Well, he did have the force eventually.
Yeah.
I think maybe right about now he found his force to break through it.
It's true. One big fat meteor and he's good to go.
Yes.
I mean, there is somewhat of a luck-based meteor. Like, there wasn't really anything for the meteor to hit Butler Town Center, so it's probably going to go down.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. Well,
this great flood was so cool.
Was so good. Yeah. I don't even like. It's one of those ones where you're like, you can't really give. I don't know. Is this on purpose?
You mean the stun after the great flood or whatever?
Yeah,
to split it.
The stun.
There's
just
no
attack
way,
range, right?
There's absolutely no way.
I credit where credit's due. It's on purpose. Hype play from the TheRapl.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But
even just using the great flood just to push the units back rather than any other random direction. I think that's a great play.
Yeah, pushing them into your army.
Yeah,
because Great Flood is not like strong enough in of itself to kill off an army, but if you can displace it, which is where its power is now, into your army, that's really, really smart.
Yeah, and it works on Son of Osiris too, just for the record.
Yeah. Well, so this is well played game by TheRapl. He's up 1-0, but we're moving into the next map here, and we've got a special one. We're going to be going in onto the map Arena.
Frey versus Shenong on Arena. Who was it? Fushi is. Is Fushi available for TheRapl?
There is.
No.
There is, not for TheRapl, but there is one for El Matador.
What? Matador has Fushi available? He doesn't go for it?
Yeah.
You saw that game too, right? With the young John.
Okay. I saw John Wick going to town, but I think that El Matador knows that TheRapl knows, and there is an answer which we've already seen to some degree from TheRapl.
Yeah,
where he picked Shenong against Recon, and it was Shenong versus. I want to say it was Noir though, wasn't it? No, it was Fushi.
It was Fushi. It was exactly that matchup.
It was
Shenong
Fushi.
versus Fushi.
And the Fushi was struggling. Like John Wick couldn't quite deal with the. Sorry, I should use the proper names. But anyways, the big fat hero from Fushi wasn't actually able to do much. Young Zhang wasn't able to do much against those Dao swordsmen from Shenong. But completely different matchup now. El Matador with Frey. I like Frey against China. I think this god is really good versus China. We've got 30 seconds. Tell me your quick thoughts.
You want to see a relatively early Bastion, not necessarily to guard any resources, but you want to get those Hostiles out. Very, very good against the Pioneers, Fire Archers, good against a lot of different units. So probably get that thing down and then get a relatively fast second TC. And you're good to go.
And you're good to go. Well, we're going to be getting into game number 2 here as we jump in, and we're going to be seeing that Shenong for TheRapl in the blue color, and we're going to be seeing El Matador playing its Frey in the red color.
I mentioned this last time I was casting Fushi here. When you're playing China on Arena, these towers that are spawning further away than they would otherwise. And this means that the towers aren't actually contributing to the favorite land, if you look over in the Chinese base, Vodka. So in the towers aren't actually contributing to the favorite land as of yet. So you need to link them. Let's see here. Yeah, see, you need to link these with houses, with granaries. With Fushi, you can use your Peach Blossom Spring. But yeah, I think you definitely need to incorporate into your build, maybe get some extra wood early on, just so you can link these things and get that extra nice bit of favor.
Yeah, and it's actually more favor income once you actually connect them, because normally the towers are overlapping with your town center. But in this situation, they're not. They've just got a full tower worth of favor income. So yeah, once they're connected, you're in a good spot, and you've also got a 5th tower to boot. So a little bit of extra something there.
Oh yeah, I think all in all, We'll see how quickly Rebel manages to link these buildings to his town center. But I think you can maybe even get a third Kuafu before you hit that classical age advance, because that favor
Yeah.
generation will be that much higher than usual.
And there's just
And
no rush to advancing, right? Like, we're probably going for a fast 3-town center here. The only time we might be scared is when we're playing against Frey.
because his boom is that much better, or
No, because
no?
there's the portable rams.
Because of the portable rams. I'm so ready
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense here. Like, your opponent's going to be wanting to boom it up. They're not going to be ready at all. They're not going to have anywhere to run to. They might even go for like double village center inside of their main base there. And man, you could even grab a forward town center behind it to have Gullimbursi to incorporate into the big push.
Oh yeah,
So
true,
I
very
don't.
easily.
I would go insofar as to say that this is pretty scary for RaPl, and I think he's got to be thinking about this. He knows he's already played against it once today, right? But this is a completely different matchup.
Yeah, I was just thinking he's playing Shinong. This means that that extra favor generation that he's getting because of playing on Arena, it also contributes to faster myth units getting produced for free. That is gonna be significant, I think, right
Yeah.
here. We don't see it on the UI, unfortunately, when that first myth unit is gonna come in. But I imagine, dude, soon enough, with 315 in, usually you'll see it around 420 or something like that. I think we're gonna see it a lot sooner here, actually.
Yeah, it just depends on which one it is, because you get your choice of
Yeah,
3, right? You could get the Yatsu, or you can get the Cheongchi, or you can get the
big
Chillin.
chillin'. Yeah.
Yeah, big fat Chillin. So if you get the Yatsu, it can come through really quickly, and you can actually be in your opponent's base super early. But yeah, I imagine RaPl has not got that one here, as it hasn't
No,
come
I
in just
imagine
yet.
it's
Could be
I
wrong.
imagine it's a chillin' that he's getting.
Yeah.
Either way, he's gone up through Hotu, so he can get that Earth Wall. And I don't know, what is the interaction with Stonewall already being researched and the Earth Wall?
You get more armor on or more HP.
So that's going to be of real significance here too, obviously. Hotu is in the Cheongchi here. Nice for scouting purposes for sure. Going to be able to see if Matador is going for a forward town center, if he's establishing a forward base, or whatever it is Matador is going to go for. We see Uller halfway there, so a bit of a late advance for Matador, but then he's got a really good economy to boot. And yeah, we're going to see where he goes from here. Human soldiers dealing more damage to buildings. Very cute relic. I like that a lot. Plus 20% damage for regular soldiers against buildings.
All those relics in the middle, you've got to be somewhat prioritizing them. I like that RaPl's moving outside of his base and just grabbing these town centers. I do think it's a little bit on the memey side to drop multiple village centers. I
think so too. I don't like it. I think you got to go for the settlements.
This is also securing gold mines and securing part of the map. And the only time I would maybe say it's close to okay is if you might be playing like some sort of set timing attack and you just don't want to. You're going to go for like a very specific build and shifting sands and just blow something up, or there could be something else that's doing something similar to that. But yeah,
I was thinking maybe Ra with his AoE empowerment. There's something there. I don't know. I personally wouldn't go for it.
Yeah. But Cheongchi here is causing some problems. Hasn't got any villager kills, but it's just a little bit of damage in. The town center is now up for RaPl. He drops his Earth Wall, and he's going to be moving along in this game.
Oh, poor Berserk caught here.
You could try and break out of here. He's going to go for get some favor in.
Well, killing the caribou is a bit annoying, so guess that's the best you could do there in that situation. Cheongchi being really annoying here. Although Matador is on the case, he's got a Hersa right there and ready. There's another Cheongchi. That's got to be one of the free ones, right?
It could be. I've definitely seen a lot of Quaofus coming through for RaPl, so that seems like he's gotten a little bit lucky. 1 in 3 chance to get the double flying tiger.
Yeah, this is looking great for Ravel if you're asking me. He's got the nice Jiangqi flying around. He's already established that second TC with the Earth Wall in. And the Jiangqi are just going to town. Very, very difficult
Yes.
for a Norse player to deal with this kind of raid.
Yeah, and especially on this map where you don't have any like towers to
Yeah,
protect your wood line. Like
yeah, true.
the towers are all on the front. So he might have to pull himself kind of elsewhere. There's a nice kind of wood line on the right hand corner of the map if he wants to get over there behind the town center that he's grabbing. But yeah, this is a lot of pain here for El
A
Matador to
single
deal with.
whack. Single whack as the Jiangqi is leaping back into the air.
But you know, this damage is almost I hate to say this damage is almost like necessary. If Rapple doesn't get this to happen, sure, it looks like he's so far in front here, but in terms of villages, is up to 42 to 27. But you know, Frey's got the cheaper upgrades, and it doesn't really amount to a huge advantage unless you get something happening. And Rapple has been getting some stuff to happen with those Cheongchi there.
Yeah, most definitely. Getting to kill a Draugr here as well. Finally, we do see that second TC in for Matador, so 43 to 28. Always a bit difficult to assess how many villagers the Rebel actually has, because the Kuafu counts as 3 villagers in that UI, and Peasants
Yep.
counts as 1. So, like you said, it does seem like Rebel has just pretty much auto-queued those Kuafu, and that's great news for Rebel, because that means his economy will be able to sustain itself in the long run too.
And also the Rushall to come through as well for the Rapple. I think he's thinking, let's get some Fey Beasts in a certain man's base and cause some problems here. So how do you defend against this god power that's going to be coming? What are the tricks you can do?
Well, usually you'll place your wood choppers around a tower, but as you mentioned just earlier, you cannot do that on this map. And actually, same thing with the gold mine. A bit unlucky, I don't even know, but it doesn't spawn near a gold mine either. So yeah, Fey Beast's gonna have a lot of value here, and it doesn't even have to be in the home base, right? There's also hunters on the outskirts of the wall as well. And these 2 Jiangqi, they've got so much value. Matador can't seem to control all of his resources at once.
Yeah, I think the. Oh, actually, I mean the hill fort there is maybe a little bit mispositioned. He could have put it in between the gold and the wood line, and then all of a sudden he would have been kind of fine to all of this.
True.
But maybe he just didn't think about it, and I didn't think about it either until then. So yeah, that's probably the angle to go for if you're playing Frey in this matchup. But nonetheless, now he's going to find even more villagers over here to start attacking.
Yep, but look at Matador, he's actually getting Edelier. So he is going for that classical age portable ram attack. But my god, the Tiongchi are getting so much value. Even though they don't...
It's just so late though, isn't it?
What? Yeah, the Edelier?
Yeah.
For sure, there'll be Fey Beast, there'll be the Rusho upgrades. Obviously, the Pierce vulnerability not going to be as much of an issue since you're against Norse, not going to be very valuable. But still, having the Fey Beast, having that +1 divine damage on your swordsman. Even, dude, Rebel's economy is so strong. He would go Wang Di here, and he could still be well off. Fey Beast, maybe?
I imagine that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to place down a ballet straight away, and because he's got so much pressure, he just goes up through that Hang Di and get himself a big fat dragon. Any sort of push that's coming, there's no Goaty. How are you going to kill off the dragon?
Oh my god, you're right. If it's a Frey stalking classical age versus the big Chinese dragon, that's gonna be a disaster. Fey Beast is in, and the wood choppers here are gonna be in a world of pain, aren't they?
Yeah, they're all taken down now. You can't escape this, but you have to prevent those Fey Beasts from getting anywhere else. I actually think El Matador kind of had somewhat of a defense there. He had the Hersa, but he stopped attacking the Fey Beasts.
Yeah, now look, 23 villagers advantage for Rebel, and Matador is slowly approaching this earth wall, but it's such a chunky earth wall. And there's fire archers, there's pioneers, there's 3 myth units defending this location. Even though Matador has invested all he's got into this classical age attack, I think Rebel is going to be perfectly fine defending against it.
He's breaking through this side wall, and I don't know if this is something that I don't think this is something that TheRapl is quite prepared for. There's no units in here.
Yeah,
The
true.
raiding cavalry can get in and get some kills. There is a by who, but who cares? The raiding cavalry going after villages.
By who? Who cares? The second one now.
Now,
It's like a good enough raid, but that's such an annoying wall that TheRapl puts up here. Now those cavalry are stuck, and there's 3 Baihu there. There's halberdiers, there's even white horse cavalry coming in for TheRapl as well. So TheRapl not going directly to the Mythic Age, he's actually prioritizing getting some defense before he clicks that Mythic Age button.
so I mean, this is the thing. The last game, TheRapl had the early game advantage, and El Matador was trying to pull himself back into it. This game, TheRapl's got the early game advantage as well, but it looks like he's still trying to get that Mythic Age in. The food is coming in slowly. The gold is there. The bow lay up with a nice little funky wall there as well. But yeah, I don't. El Matador just needs to be getting stuff done here. He needs to be getting villager kills while he can, because sooner or later, Huang Di comes in, and a lot of extra units are going to be following.
Yeah, I think if TheRapl ever gets to the point where he gets all the minor god technologies for those Dao swordsmen, even though Frey is a late game beast, I don't even know how Frey will ever compete against that. Throwing X-Men, sure, but you know, there's counters to throwing X-Men.
Yeah.
This Earthwall is tanky. It's a lot of units hitting it, but still just slowly going down. Tempest use here. Look at the amount of myth units on the side of TheRapl. There's like
There's
5 or 6 here.
and the Golem Burst is going to come in and attempt to help out with this. Trying to take out, getting some stuns and taking out the Baihu. That's always very, very nice there. But Huang Di is already clicked up. Can El Matador actually get some significant damage done while TheRapl is waiting for this? He's got to be getting out Godi, which he is queuing through, so that's going to be a big help. And he's getting that big technology Feast of Renown to help with some healing. He needs to retreat back. The Golem Percy very slow around here, but it is basically down that Tao Wu nicely there.
That's 2 very slow units in the chase here. Good attack here from really good attack from Matador. He's got a rock giant here as well. Lots of peasants chunking down those portal rams. Maybe should have retreated from that position with the rams until he got a better attack on those peasants. I don't know.
It's always so hard to attack with those rams when your opponent's got a ton of villagers there to just kill them off. You have to have your entire army on top of them just to path block.
Yeah. Oh my god, Huang Di is like 20 seconds in, or 20 seconds from coming in. So the Terracotta army out from TheRapl as well, just to give him that extra bit of defense while he's waiting for the Yinglong to come soaring in. This is what Matador needs.
Good control from Matador to pull back when he needs to, but there's the Mythic Age, there's the Dragon called in, and Matador, he can't do anything but retreat here. He has to pull away.
And the retreat is going to be so slow because there is this ability that makes rain occur around the Yinglong, and then every unit is just extremely slow. And now the lightning bolts are pouring in from that dragon as well. And there is Godi for the Matador, but there's not enough of them to seriously threaten the dragon.
Yeah. Now, I mean, the other problem here is I've already seen how good TheRapl is with this unit. If you have this dragon inside of the favored land of Shennong, you get yourself access to healing. So, you know, the Son of Osiris, you can't heal that. You know, the Nidhogg, can't heal that. This you call it a Yinglong.
Yes.
This thing here is going to stay at full HP.
Yeah, and it's actually the Shennong myth unit healing has been nerfed in the most recent patch, where it used to be just 5 seconds flat, but now it's 1.5 in Archaic, and then 3 in Classical, and 4.5 in Heroic. But in the Mythic Age, it's a slight buff from 5 to 6. So 6 HP per second on this Amazing dragon.
Good luck killing it off. This is going to be the big thing, the big problem for El Matador to deal with first. And then he's got to have to also deal with, like you already said, those really powerful Dao swordsmen. You're already seeing these upgrades come through. Shenlong has got also really powerful Tiger Cavalry here as well. Even though you might not think he does because, he gets that Liju's Silk, which boosts his human soldiers up by 20%, plus 10% hack armor. I think it's hack armor. So,
Oh, damn, yeah.
yeah, you can. Yeah, he's got some power for sure.
I swear, these Huangdi minor god technologies are so good. I think probably the best suit of minor god technologies in the game belonging to Huangdi.
I mean, you do have something similar with Frey though. Like you've got the Frey's Gift, and you have Vidar with I can't remember what the technology is called off the top of my head, but giving you a little
Fury
bit
of
of
the
HP as well.
Fallen, and there's Twilight of the Gods. There's a ton of them there. But Huangdi also makes everything cheaper on top of that. So I think that's just cherry on top of everything else.
Yeah, for sure. Now, right now, El Matador's got more stuff than TheRapl. But can he take out this dragon? Those Godi are going to town.
Doesn't seem like it.
I don't know where TheRapl's population is, but
well, I think the reason why TheRapl doesn't have more population is because he's investing so much into technologies. I did see he got some of those Huangdi technologies already. He's getting that divine damage on top of the swordsman now. And he's invested into getting the Chukuno out as well. These are very expensive units, so TheRapl will get there, but he's in no rush.
yeah, the question here is, well, is there a way to the Mythic Age for El Matador? And is there something that he can do with that?
Potentially.
Controlling his army really, really well though. Like
Yeah.
that was some nice baiting of Baihu's special abilities and the good stuff there.
Yeah, you got to treat it similar to a Bellerophon or an Anubite. You just, when the special comes, you just back off, and then you're going to negate both the effect and the damage. No, but Matador, you're absolutely right. He's actually still in this, very much so. He doesn't have any more god powers available, except for if he goes Mythic, obviously, then he gets a new one. But yeah, he's still in this.
And he's controlling the left side of the map while this is all going on. Like, the big problem is coming, and that is these Gao swordsmen, and the fact that El Matador needs like a lot of Godi to deal with this dragon. He needs Throw an Axeman to kill off the Dao swordsman. He needs the Godi. And once the dragon's gone, he can literally just get rid of those Godi and then start redoing his army a little bit here. But if you can get to Vidar, get Inferno in, then all of a sudden he's got an answer for this army to allow him to equalize even more so.
Yeah, Inferno on top of the Chukuno, such expensive and relatively fragile units, that would be sick. We do see Vidar now is being researched for Matador, but at the same time TheRapl is sort of making an aggressive play, although he is being retreated now. Lots of Godi here, taking care of the Jinglong. And the Yinglong has got such big range that TheRapl is just placing it behind. And now I think he's going to use it to just heal back up while simultaneously boosting the farm rate over here.
Yeah, this is such a smart idea. He also defends the position.
Yeah.
Another little bit of a boost for this dragon. Maybe people might not think it's very good, but sitting him back there and letting him just say, hey, let's get some more food in so that we can get some more powerful Tiger Cavalry or something like that through. Really, really smart, really, really powerful, and he's going to, at this point, like, El Matador is going to say, all right, well, I guess I don't need Godi anymore for a little bit, but see if he can hold on.
This is kind of sick, because Matador was looking like he actually made a big play there. He had plenty of units on top of TheRapl's farms, but when that dragon struck there, then Matador was simply pushed off of there. So not only is the dragon healing back up, it's already at 600 HP. Not only that, but he also fends off the attack. Frey's Gift isn't coming in for Matador now. And the dragon over here, oh my god, getting so much done. It's looking like TheRapl may be struggling for gold, at least it's a risky position for him to be in. But with the dragon there, he is able to do so freely.
Now, this idea of trying to control the left-hand corner of the left-hand side of the map, which El Matador is doing really well, it's fantastic. Really, what he what he needs to have happen here is to get a really good Inferno.
Yeah,
Now,
it's gonna
the
hit.
weakness of the Chinese army is what? Very, very slow. Can you dodge this? I don't know. Maybe not.
Let's go. Let's see. It's gonna be the Inferno here, surely. It's not gonna hit any of Rebel's buildings. Let's see. Maybe even just have to not use it here. Wait for a better opportunity.
He's got the taunts to come through.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Rebels seems to have maybe overextended a bit here. There's the Inferno, and this does mean that Matador can hit the town center in the process. Look at this. Taking down
Huge damage.
a bunch
Farm's
of
gonna be able
farms.
to survive though.
Oh, yeah. Tons of damage on the CC, taking down a lot of farms. And Matador is well in this game. 210 population versus just 164 Rebel.
Yeah, he's got full pop. He's got his upgrades coming through. You can never really count Frey out of a game. Because, you know, like, it doesn't matter if you've got more economy than him because he's going to get all those Mythic Age technologies in instantly anyway. As long as he's got villages, he's good to go. As this army coming through, the dragon. Fafnir is the crawling dragon from Frey, from buildup, and we got Yinglong here to be dealing with that one nicely.
There's the disabled dragon, and then there's the flying lightning bolt striking dragon next to it.
Yeah, this is very much needed gold going to be coming into the bank here for TheRapl.
Oh, yeah.
You know, 300 gold there for TheRapl. The dragon is now taken down, absolutely huge. El Matador is for the first time in this game. He does take the lead in score.
And he's putting on the pressure. There's 4 rock giants. They're not even rock giants. What are they? They're greasy. And it's so difficult for Rebel to actually get heroes onto this location. He doesn't have a single hero here, despite... Wait, he's got some over on the left side, I didn't realize. But big pressure put on here by Matador. He's getting so many upgrades in no time here. Champion infantry about to hit.
And this army is just looking brutal. Like, I was seeing TheRapl pulling his population back up ever so slightly here. But El Matador's pop is just, he's got, look at the queue, he's got tons of units in his queue, and his army is only going to be getting stronger here.
Yeah, this is insane. I never thought Matador would be able to pull this off, but he somehow is, although we are at the same time seeing the Dao swordsmen are pouring in from Rebel. And I think at this stage, Rebel has got all the upgrades that he wanted, so even though he's lost his dragon, even though he's lost his farm on this forward position, who knows? Maybe Rebel is not out of this at all. Maybe he's on 182 population. He just needs a bit more breathing space and he'll be fine.
Yeah, I can't believe we've gotten 24 minutes into a game on Arena and there's still just 2 town centers for these players.
Yeah, this is not the boomy map that a lot of people suspected it to be. Not necessarily.
No. Another sort of Asgardian Bastion as well. This is going to be boosting that food income up, and we are seeing El Matador going for some basically pure infantry here. He's getting some Jarls out as well, but you know, those Goaty still needs those for the free myth units coming from TheRapl. It's going to be I can't remember the name of the Phoenix, the Chinese Phoenix here.
Juka.
Juka.
Jucha, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Definitely Ju something.
Jucha. Okay. Does manage to snipe that, and he's hitting the raids on the top here. Surely El Matador is just going to... He has to take these fights, I guess, but when TheRapl is taking this fight, he doesn't mind losing these units, I don't think. Guess what? They cost 60 resources. They cost
so little, but even then, there's lifesteal coming in, as well as just the general durability of this generalist unit. Man, this is so strong from TheRapl. So yeah, definitely nice for him.
Yeah, the Matador control is the big one. He's never going to get super caught out with his army. Those Uzu Javelineer are very, very tough on the top, and they are also cheap to boot. But El Matador going to continue to get himself in. Those Jarls, everything else. His queue is so crazy. Just get a town, put one unit on a town center and just build it, please.
Oh yeah, he's got dwarves right next to that forward town center. He could easily convert some of those and just build the town center, or even there. Hello. Yeah, he's struggling a bit for gold.
I don't mind which one, please. Just one town center. 7 berserks in queue. We don't need that many. Let's.
Oh my God, you're right.
all the iron upgrades coming through. I think Matador is just enjoying himself right now.
Yeah, it could be it. I'm amazed. I told you 20 minutes ago or so that Matador does not want to go up against the late game Shenong with what's it called, Rusho and Wang Di. But Matador is showing, nah, he wants to do this. He believes in Frey late game, and it's definitely paying off for him.
There's one late game kick in town. I'm sorry, Shenong fans. This is a Frey,
Apparently.
and it's going to be Frey forever. It looks like. I mean, there's
Apparently.
probably the fact of the matter here is RaPl doesn't have him fully upgraded. He's not fully upgraded. He's only now just gotten bronze male. He doesn't have 3 town centers, so his economy is kind of hindering, or his population, economic population is kind of hindering the amount of units he can get out.
Oh my god, he's at 130 pop. He's just struggling so hard.
Yeah, the economy's just in pain. And he's been getting raided non-stop. He's raiding cavalry up here as well. Great play from El Matador. He's now getting his 3rd town center up. Yes!
And Matador has secured himself a gold mine in the middle between 2 hill forts. If you go a little to the right here. Matador. What a performance. What a performance from Matador. I never expected this game to go like this.
You were looking at it and you go, yeah, RaPl's going to get the dragon, this attack's going to get busted, and it did, but it didn't as well. Like, Matador was getting villages, he was getting kills, and he was trading okay, and RaPl was losing HP on the dragon. The control with El Matador was really, really good here, and RaPl just couldn't really get into that situation where he's got a ton of resources, taking full advantage of those very cheap barracks units, those almost quote unquote trash units that aren't trash at all when you have all those Huang Di upgrades. And yeah, El Matador gets through it, and he's leveled the series.
Yeah, what a cool game. I think maybe in hindsight, Rebel was relying too much on his late game prowess here. I think there was a few times throughout the game where Rebel actually had the advantage, but he was just sitting back, not really doing much, just waiting for his technologies to kick in. And then when they finally did kick in, it apparently didn't do all that much.
Yeah, I mean, this big first little Fey Beast thing. We didn't get to see it at the very start, but when you watch, we're not going to see it at all. One of those hearses basically 2 hits the Fey Beast. So you want to get in and just start attacking. And I probably wouldn't even run with the villagers because they're just going to get chased down and die. So turn around and start shanking. At the very least, you can get some HP taken off them if you don't have a garrison point. The other way to sort of play around it, as funny as it sounds, is to put a tower up on all of your resources.
Oh my god, it's such a big investment though.
Yeah.
Dude, the early game went so well for Rebel with the Cheongchi and with the Fabies, as we just saw. And then the big attack here with the Gulian Bursty and the Tempest on top of all these myth units. Rebel seemed like he defended it quite well, but it seemed from this point onwards, it's a bit of a downhill slope for Rebel.
Yeah, I love this little play. Always Tempest plus Gulian Bursty. It's always
Yeah.
going to be one of those combos. You're always looking for combos in a game of Age of Mythology. Like, China's also got them as well. You've got things like what's the new bars technology, the drought plus Great Flood, and there used to be a little bug with Vanish plus Fey Beasts, but I don't think that one works anymore.
Oh, thank God.
So yeah, there's some fun stuff that can be done from everyone. But yeah, nice little attack there from El Matador. Great defense here from RaPl with the dragon. He lost his town center, but gets it back up immediately. And the problem, as is always the case here with China, as you already mentioned, is their siege, while not terrible, just isn't amazing. So if you're going to be making big pushes, you got to be ready to have very nice defenses around those siege weapons like towers, ballet, etc. And I think maybe the better play here, maybe you can chime in, is instead of going for a big kill here, grabbing that 3rd town center, grabbing that 4th town center, securing those gold mines, and just
for sure. Now that you mention it, look over on the left side, secure that area, get rid of those production buildings there, grab that 3rd TC, and then maybe even build a few walls here and there. Would have definitely been the better play for Rebel. He overextended here, and this is where we thought maybe Matador would be forced to use Inferno, but he holds it, and then Rebel forced to retreat because he overextends, and then the Inferno hits big time on top of that forward town center and the forward farms. I think we're going to see that relatively soon. Not just yet, yo. Not just yet, though. as this is the point where Ravel is overextending. He's sending his Chukunu, his Fire Archers, Pioneers a bit too forward, and there's 3 Bergrisi using their taunt ability right here as Ravel's forces are retreating. The Banish ability from the Potato. Did you see that on
Yeah,
the Rock Giant? Yeah.
Hundun, right? Yeah, this thing is so much fun. I'm a big fan of that unit. It looks so funny. He's cute.
It's hard to micro.
Yeah.
I never really have success with it, but the Banish ability looked really strong there.
Yeah, and that snipe on the dragon. Once that dragon is down, it's kind of like Son of Osiris in a way, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like you're feeling like $1,000,000 while he's out there, but as soon as he dies, it's like, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Now I have to rely on my regular units. Oh no.
Yep. Oh, and this is exciting. Soup.
Ooh, the Odin versus Thor on Ghost Lake. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it out. Well, you tell me what you think's gonna happen. I'm gonna tell you how the matchup actually should go.
Well, I
my modern theory.
I've seen Rebel play Thor versus Loki on Ghost Lake already, and what he did was just go for SETI full infantry, raiding with Berserks, and then winning the big fights with Berserks and then throwing X-Men. So I expect that's what Rebel's going to do again, and then from Matador, what is he going to do? Could even be a 2TC boom. I'm not sure.
Yeah, okay. So it's Ghost Lake. So you do have we're going back into my early favor bag of tricks here.
Oh no, it's a double Valk.
The thing which Thor struggles with is getting huge pressure early on. And that's what Odin wants to do. Forward temple, put pressure. You could go for a town center behind that as well. But we're already going to be jumping into the game. We're not going to... I'm so unhappy.
Why? What is
TheRapl
it?
steals my strategies all the time, and he hasn't stolen this one just yet. So the strat for Thor here is to do a 3:15 advance time.
Oh no!
And be the one to be on the aggressive.
No. Rebel's not good.
Listen. I tell you, listen. Big Thor, and you win. Okay, and you get yourself out the 2 Valkyries in your opponent's base because the Odin player is going to want to have their temple out forward. And they're not going to have any defenses, and you are just going to ravage that, and they can't do anything to hold. And then you can pull back and kill off the Valkyries that your opponent has. That's the best idea.
Boyd, you're out of your mind if you think Rebel's going to pull that out now.
Matrius knows. I believe.
I think maybe yourself or who else would do that. I don't even think I would, to be honest. Who else? I think it's only you, Boyd, who would do that in a tournament play like this.
I would do it. 100%.
The thing is, Thor excels on 2 gold mine Ghost Lake in the Norse mirror. Thor is so strong here.
Oh, it is a 2 gold. Okay, it is a 2 gold mine Ghost Lake. I take it all back.
Yeah.
So it's a 1 gold mine Ghost Lake. It's a different story.
Maybe one gold mine Ghost Lake with the forward gold mine. That would be brutal, yeah. But no, this is so good for the Thor player. He can go for the big dwarf economy, and he's gonna have gold mines for ages. So even though he won't be able to hunt as much of the outside as probably Odin will, even then he will still be able to sustain himself economically with those 2 gold mines. And in no time, he'll build up an army of berserks, throwing axemen, even trolls in the mix, and that's going to be very, very difficult for Matador to deal with.
Yeah, kind of. He does have to go for aggressive play, though. I think the big advantage, or the only real advantage that Odin has in this matchup, is that he has the initiative. Kind of like, Poseidon against Thor. It's like if you don't use that initiative really well, then all of a sudden things become very difficult very, very quickly. So I do expect to see El Matador get a little bit aggressive here, or go for the immediate second town center and try and find the advantage that way. So either way, he has to make some very clear, precise decision early on and make something happen. It looks like he might be putting a temple into his main base, though. So it's looking like maybe he's going for a more safe option. Did he? Am I wrong? Maybe the temple's going into the middle of the map.
I think it's just a bit of a delayed advance here from El Matador. I don't know what that means. If that means extended classical age fighting, or if he's going for his 2 TC boom. But man, it's so hard. I'm sitting here thinking, what can El Matador even do? Because as we speak, Rabble is pulling ahead in economy. He's ahead by 2 villages right now. He's getting that Pierce armor upgrade, copper shields coming in. He's already pre-queued the Hammer of Thunder. So it's just a ticking time bomb for El Matador. And not only is he losing in economy, he's not playing low key either. So even if he amasses a good army, that's not necessarily a guarantee that he'll be able to win a big fight either. So
Mm.
it's rough for El Matador out here. With the 2 gold mine Ghost Lake, it's gonna be super rough.
Well, we'll see. Temple in the main base, Freya versus Forseti. You called it. This is what these players want to play. It's gonna be a difficult little map actually for RAPL to defend. Now, one of
Yeah,
the big kind of advantages, the things that people don't think about with what comes with Freya is the forest fire. While you can use it to try and snipe villages, I actually don't think that's the usage that you want for it at all. It's actually more about opening up your opponent's base. So dropping a forest fire on this back trees, I don't like that at all. I think you just harass this to no end. And then when the villagers move elsewhere, now we're burning that forest.
yeah, that's a good play. I kind of like that idea. We do see El Matador with the forward Berserk already as he's about to hit the Freya, so we might be able to see a really fast forest fire here. Will we? I think it's risky because it's not guaranteed to take down the entire forest.
Oop, oop.
Oh,
Yeah, it's so even if you get a villager kill here, I don't think this is. I don't think this is even that. I don't know. I don't even think it's that big of a deal.
it's putting Rebel behind ever so slightly, but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's not much more than that.
What you want is you want to be making weaknesses in your opponent's position as much as you can from this forest fire.
Yeah,
So just like if you now there's two separate positions on both sides of the map that the villagers can go to. This Valkyrie gonna be a little bit of a nuisance here, but dodging around looking for
it's a
somewhere to go.
lot
The
of
villagers were low HP
yeah,
now, so he
exactly. I was
can
about to
snipe
say.
something.
Oh, big
He
reaction there
doesn't.
from Rebel,
Yeah,
pulling that
really
low HP
nice.
villager just in time.
And El Matador.
Yo,
I
look at
mean,
El
you
Matador. He's
can't.
getting the second TC.
Yeah, it is going to be. I don't mind this play. I think this is a good play because, you know, the town center is going to be up way before Rapples. So the advantage which RAPL gets from the early armory is going to be nullified. And unless the only thing that El Matador has to worry about right now is RAPL going very, very aggressive at him.
Yeah, you mentioned it's going to be up way before Rebels. I'm not so sure Rebel is going to get a town center of his own. I think he's just going to be totally content sitting on one town center, spamming out those infantry, and then if needed, he'll hit a Bragi timing and just hopefully for Rebel overrun Matador with flaming weapons and that big infantry army. I think that's probably going to be Rebel's game plan here.
Yeah, I mean, it almost has to be, right? I mean, you got to take the advantage you've got and run with it. And the advantage he's got is that he's in front of villagers right now, and if he decides to go into the town center, you're just kind of playing into the Odin game plan to some degree.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So, yeah, there's always this concept I think about when you, especially when you're playing the same civs, of if you're just mirroring what your opponent is doing, but you're doing it later on, you're doing it worse than your opponent, then you're in a bad spot. So you see your opponent doing one thing, it's never, in my view, a good idea to just do the same thing but worse in a mirror
Yeah,
matchup.
yeah, exactly.
Sometimes it's
And
the case, like if you're playing Norse versus Egyptian, or Norse versus
mm,
Greek is a good example, and you see the Greek player going for a 2TC, then you say, all right, I'm going to quickly switch my strategy to a 2TC boom as well. And that'll be the right call. But that's not a mirror matchup, right? It's a
no,
very asymmetric
completely,
matchup.
yeah, completely different. We are going to be seeing raiding cavalry here against these infantry units. We did see this a little bit earlier today. Obviously, the Odin gets a little bit more of a bonus from using those Great Hall units because you get extra favor from them. But RAPL is going for this mass infantry approach you're talking about. If El Matador gets a huge amount of thrown axemen out, all of a sudden the one town center play here becomes quite difficult to actually break through when the thrown axeman can do that garrison shenanigans.
Yeah, and you know what's good is El Matador being on 2 TCs. Sometimes it can be difficult to get to food on the map and gold for that matter. But seeing how he's against full infantry here, it's really easy on that second town center just auto queue gathers on wood, and that wood is going to be super useful for producing a ton of longhouses and a ton of houses and throwing axemen.
Yeah. I'm loving this as well. He's sniping these. You might think he's just being annoying here. He's sniping that hunt. You see a bit of a fight. Those raiding cavalry are sort of caught in the main base. You've got to be so careful here to not overdo it. But El Matador sniping the animals on the front, that actually gets him a huge amount of favor. So
Oh yeah, true.
he's already gotten himself Thundering Hooves. I don't think he's got 2 Valkyries yet, but he can very, very shortly go for another one.
I think
He's
he
got the
killed all the
resources
hunt over
for
on
it.
the right side as well.
Yeah, yep. He's grabbing every single little bit of advantage he possibly can in this game.
He's killed some of it. He should probably kill the rest as well, because it's a good play. Maybe that's what he's doing now. Nah, not yet.
Any amount of delay right now, he's just keeping the threat alive of these raiding cavalry coming in and just getting damage done while he's on 2 town centers. Like, the longer this goes on, the further in front, or the closer the difference in total resources is going to get into, the more in front El Matador is going to get here.
I'm not even sure. Does TheRapl know that Matador is on 2 TCs? Because the way that TheRapl is playing is so defensive and so hesitant to do something. Like you see
he
here,
hasn't seen anything.
it's not necessarily. Maybe he smells it because of the way that those buildings are placed, but only now, 10 minutes into the game, is he confident enough to actually leave his base. He's getting Hall of Thanes, so it's going to be a nice infantry army here. But
in a way,
yeah.
there's no real rush for him, right? Like, what's he gonna? He has to basically kill off the town center and get kills here. He's going for a big attack. El Matador's got his army on this side. Now the army's out of position. He might just run for the main base here. We'll see where he's going to go for. Got to figure out how to defend this. He's behind on population ever so slightly. El Matador needs just a little bit more time here.
Yeah, he does.
Survive.
It's a good timing here for TheRapl. He even manages to take down a bunch of dwarves in the process. These berserks deal so much damage, and a lot of the villager discrepancy is being negated in that process.
It's a good little choke point here for El Matador with those throwing axemen. He's cleaning up a good amount of units here. Still very, very close in terms of military. I think it's TheRapl advantage, though. Those throwing axemen are going to clean up. The throwing axemen from El Matador will clean up the berserks nicely. He's still got to really micro this. I don't know why El Matador's insisting on this fight, but he's going to lose a ton of units here.
The berserks, once they're on top of the throwing axemen, they're actually doing really well against them. The issue is getting on top of them. But you see what happened here? TheRapl, he won that fight convincingly. He's almost 4,000 army resource value versus just 1,000 for Matador. Yeah, this was
buildings, and when you're on the back foot in the North Mirror, it's even worse.
Yeah, the timing was just right there for TheRapl. I think had he waited 30, 60 seconds more, I think Matador would have been so much more prepared for that. But now it's
realistically here, your opponent's on 1 town center as well. If you see this army coming forward, you can just run. Just run all your villages. Don't sit there. Just run. Keep everyone alive. You can even sack the town center. Take the advantage. Pull into your main base. You got gold there. You got food. You got the goats and everything. You're totally fine. But right now, TheRapl, if he wants, he can just take down that town center and he can kill off all the villagers there, and he's gonna have a huge lead. But he hasn't yet got that huge lead. He did kill off a lot of guys, a lot of El Matador's stuff, but it's not fully converted just yet. El Matador is actually, in my opinion, fine here.
You think? I'm looking at TheRapl's army. There's almost 5,000 resource value, and he's going Skadi now as well. Matador, he's sitting on 3,400 army. He's not going heroic anytime soon. And yes, Matador has got how many? 15 more villagers. He's still producing villagers from 2 town centers, so he's probably got the better economy. Yeah. But with Skadi coming in and TheRapl's getting his second town center as well now, It's a big uphill battle for Matador, is what I think.
Yeah, you're right. It's an uphill battle, but what I mean by he's fine is it's like Rapple still has to make some stuff happen here. It's not a simple conversion by any stretch, I don't think.
Yeah, maybe not. There's actually 20 villagers ahead for Matador, and he's doing a nice little bit of...
Oh, those trolls are a very simple amount of conversion as he gets a huge amount of damage onto the raiding cavalry. El Matador's going to be very, very respectful of those bad boys.
Yeah, and the second TC does go up for Rebel. But yeah, Matador, 21 villagers ahead. You're absolutely right. This does amount to something unless Rebel manages to make something happen. Skadi is in for Rebel. Skadi is being researched for Matador, though, so there'll be a 1-minute window from here on out where Rebel probably has a big advantage over Matador, but the question is, can he make something happen out of it just now? I'm not sure. Big fight happening here. I think Matador's gonna...
Because he's got those Valkyries, but once the Hursa come in, it's not going to be good anymore, and he does realize that, pulls back, but so too, in the same breath, we see these units pulling into the middle. What does El Matador do to kill off these trolls at the moment? He's got Valkyrie. Valkyrie are good against them, but he has to be very careful to dodge those big fat boulders.
He's going to need Godi. And Godi are good because they pretty much counter myth units, obviously. But other than that, they're also quite decent against Berserk, Throwing Axemen, Hearses even. So if you can get a bunch of Great Halls out, set up his economy for a bunch of Godi. I think maybe that's what Matador needs here.
He's definitely going to be going for them. He's at full population though, so he's got no way to get them out just yet. But if there's no Hursa around the trolls at the moment, so he can just charge in with his Valks and try and get a good snipe here. Sacrifice a couple of buildings is completely fine for El Matador at the moment. He can just rebuild them. What's 40 wood at this stage of the game?
True. Rebel getting that third TC. I don't think Matador is anywhere near his third, but he's also sitting on 80 villagers, so it's actually not that important unless you are at full population and you really need that population, not for villager production, but for military population in a big fight.
Yeah. And a fortified town center as well. Rapple is going to be... I think the thing is he's got the stronger Death Ball army right now with all of those trolls. And then if you add in that he's got more population as well, then that's where it's very, very scary. I love this. He's sacrificing a Throwing Axeman, gets rid of that special ability. Oh, no, he's not. Never mind. I thought that was
I saw where you were going, though. And yeah, I think we may actually get there still. Matador quite hesitant to actually engage this army. Rebel sitting on 200 population versus just 194 Matador, so maybe that's part of the reason why. Matador also got plus 14 bills, so the military discrepancy is actually favoring Rebel quite heavily here.
This is a really, really nice fight here from El Matador. He's controlling it beautifully. Same too for Rapple to kind of prevent the engagement in there. Very, very standoffish. Those trolls, scary. Not if it's just one unit, though. He doesn't care losing one Throwing Axeman. As the Godi are queued up as well. I'm sure those are going to come through very, very shortly.
Is Matador getting those Godi in because he really needs them at the beginning of this fight to target down the trolls, even the Frost Giant in the process? Doesn't quite look like it. He's got... he is sitting at full population. Rebel, 235 population space. I don't think Rebel should be taking this fight. He's so close to getting such a bigger army than this, but the fight is here. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about... There's defender's advantage for Matador, which is the big thing, but it's all about these trolls and if they're going to get taken down. It looks like all the Valkyries are falling, but now there's a couple of Godi in to start getting some good damage done, and Rapple here, it looks like he's actually pulling back.
Bit of a draw here. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's honestly just a bit of a draw.
Yep. And no one's really won the fight or lost the fight just yet. Those Godi are going to town on this as well. It's a great little split here in a movement from El Matador as Rapple has to pull back. The thing is, though, now what do? You need to get that town center up for El Matador. Rapple does have... He's getting closer to having the villager lead. I think El Matador is well and truly in the lead in terms of like total resources now, but he's got to convert still on this. There's not really an advantage anywhere. El Matador's got all the units queued up in the world,
Yeah, but
in his bank, and it doesn't do anything for him.
no, he's sitting on 2 town centers, and it's not a fortified town center either. So,
Yeah.
yeah, dude, so many resources queued into the production here, but he doesn't have that third TC, which is a bit ridiculous when you think about it. Just convert some
Yeah.
of those farmers on your town center or something. You need that third TC up. You cannot
Sure.
continue to sit on 2 TCs at this
Does
stage.
El Matador have a hill fort as well? Like, he's got so much gold in the bank.
Oh my god, yeah.
Is there a
I don't
hill
think he
fort? I don't
does.
think there is.
No. No, so Matador, he's fought these fights incredibly well, but flip side of the coin, he's probably forwent fixing his economy, getting that third
Yeah.
TC up, getting the hill fort up, and it's now biting him a bit in the ass, I think.
Yeah, and the thing is that maybe it doesn't matter. Like, this matchup just seems to, at this point, just seems to be all about control. Make sure your army doesn't get caught out of position. Make sure you control it really well. So far,
Oh my god, look
both
at this
players
gold
playing
operation.
really well, but I think El Matador's control is just that little bit more pristine. Maybe thus far, but I mean, maybe it doesn't matter if RaPl's just got more population.
It's
Do some
hard
tier
to...
coming in first for El Matador though.
Oh, sick. That's really sick for Matador. I didn't expect that. I saw that tier being procured by Rebel a long while ago, so I thought his economy was up to par, but apparently not quite. It is in now, so he's not far behind at all. Matador also finally grabbing that third town center. Does he have fortified TC vodka if you go to his home TC?
I don't think he
No,
does
he
quite
doesn't.
just yet. But this is so wild. Like, he's got so many resources in the bank. I don't know what he's helped. There he goes. Now he's getting them. He's also getting everything else. The big problem, right, is, and it's always a problem against Thor for everyone, not just Odin. But once all the gold mines dry up, RaPl is going to have infinite, well, not infinite. He's going to have a 50 favor gold mine. He's going to have a 100 favor gold mine, 150 favor gold mine. That's a lot of extra gold on top of what El Matador's going to have. So El Matador's got to really make some good trades and be very careful here. Make sure he gets his trade route set up nice and early.
For
This
sure.
game might be going very, very long.
Thor also has access to that last bit of armory upgrades, so he can invest into that dragon scale armor very early, seeing how obviously he's against a Norse player, so he's going to be relying heavily on hack armor, so that's a good investment to make. Really nice move by Rebel over here. I don't think Matador's quite ready for it. Matador's army is stuck on the right side here, and he's moving his army. Seems like he wants to go over on the left side too, but he's so delayed. And the damage is definitely dealt here.
It's a significant amount of damage here. However, when the fight happens, if he can time this with Fimbulwinter, it's going to be really, really nice, because then RaPl has to focus on his army and can't really go ahead and make sure he gets a very efficient defense from the Fimbulwinter.
See it, there it is. By the looks of things, a really good Fimbulwinter spawn over on the right side in particular. There's a gold mine operation there, and that's 20 gold mines that are being attacked right there. Over here, we do see Rebel's army. It's kind of stuck, isn't it? It's getting... Oh my god, a new Fimbulwinter.
But there's an even better Fimbulwinter for the RaPl, as the Fimbulwinter Wolf's right on top of these throwing axemen, and he's got to retreat.
And the trade route too. Matador is trying to establish a trade route, and Fimbulwinter is so good at disrupting a trade route.
And the good thing here is for El Matador, which isn't really good for the RaPl. El Matador's got resources in the bank. He's got quite a lot of resources in the bank here. Not actually, no, he doesn't. He's got a hefty amount in queue, but I mean, RaPl's got more military. I don't even know how to call this one at the moment. So,
there we go with the Dwarven gold mines. These are 6,000 gold mines with a plus 50% gather rate. And at this stage of the game, when both players are so ridiculously close to each other, that Dwarven gold mine is gonna be immensely valuable for the RaPl.
Okay, but there's one angle here, maybe, for El Matador, which is he's got 50 villagers on food. I don't know how he's got 50 villagers on food. He's got 50 on food. He's got 186 favor. What else are you going to use it on? Why not go into a whole bunch of Fenris Wolves here?
Yeah,
they recently got buffed.
Yeah, they did. And they're quite good now. I think they get to something like 7.3 speed or something ridiculous like that. He doesn't
Yeah.
have access to Bragi, meaning he doesn't have that myth unit movement speed buff that you get from the minor god technology there. But still, if you have 6 of these out, they're very, very strong. Ooh.
And El Matador's trade route going right through the middle of the map. He needs to put the market in the bottom or in the very east corner there. He is losing so many of these trade caravans, and they're not working
Dude, Matador
well for
messed
him at
up
all.
with these. Dude,
Yeah.
He really messed up with those markets. They should have been down the bottom and then up on the far right town center. Would have been such an immensely good trade route. But instead, yeah, he's really struggling to establish this trade route. The caravans are not. They cannot be safe when they're walking this route here.
No. No. And we're not going to be seeing this favor spend anytime soon. It looks like for El Matador.
Ooh,
I mean,
212.
it's kind of difficult to do it, right? You need to have the food in there, and you also have to have temples up as well. Losing all these villages is a really big blow to El Matador's economy as well. He needed that gold mine.
He
He's not
did.
going to be able to. He's not going to be able to have it.
And the fact that the trade route is so poor is really gonna be a struggle for Matador. He's forced to have his army there on the ice just to protect the trade route. And that also means that these throwing axemen have no buildings to hide nearby. Now the raiding cavalry are surrounding them. It's gonna be a terrible fight for Matador.
Yeah, and he's just not able to get units out at this point. He's dropping the frost, so he will be able to hit what looks like the vast majority of Rappel's army here. Gives him a little bit more time, but there's going to be another frost now for. Well, there's still a huge amount of raiding cavalry just sitting at the back.
Oh yeah.
Rappel is in a fantastic position.
Rebel getting champion infantry, champion cavalry, and even the what's it called, the market upgrade with the coinage. He doesn't even have that much of a trade route to speak of, but he's getting that one too. That just means Rebel's economy is really, really good. He doesn't even want to use Frost here because he's perfectly in the driver's seat.
Yeah, it all really just comes down to this market positioning for El Matador. I mean, it's not ideal to have the market trade route versus a dwarven mine, Mythic Age dwarven mine with a boosted gather rate, but at the very least you're still able to keep building units and taking good trades. But this just seems like Rapple gets the dub, and a really well played game from both, but one mistake can be the difference here in these sorts of high level games.
Yeah, we saw the Rebel with the sick timing when he finally left his base. I think it was around the 10-minute mark. The timing was just perfect. Matador was looking like he was in a really good position. He had that villager lead. He's got the 2 town center versus 1 town center advantage for a long while. But I think, dude, Rebel, 73 villagers killed, 20 buildings razed. This is the story of this game. Rebel just managing to really put on the pressure, and Matador struggling, trying to play defensive, but in the end, not managing to defend his trade route.
Yeah, a really, really solid, well played game by TheRapl. And that, I mean, this is just it's just kind of like just solid all around. You don't get this advantage here unless you play a very specific way. I think this specific moment here for El Matador, I feel like he knew the army was here, right? He just can't engage. And he needed to be reacting a little bit earlier, keeping the villagers alive, retreating back, not really taking this fight. I think this fight that he took right now is where things went south for him. Not that they
Yeah,
went fully south, like he was still in the game, but he was well and truly winning the game before this fight. He did not need to take it. Could have sacked some more buildings, pulled back, waited a little bit longer for him to have a solid army, and he probably would have been completely fine here.
he didn't have those throwing axemen. I just noticed that now. He didn't have the TA in the right spot to defend against the Berserks as they were
Mm.
targeting down the Great Halls and the Long Houses. That would have helped out immensely as well. I think they were mispositioned back in his home base or something. But yeah, small skirmish here with the Valkyries on top of the Berserks. Another big fight here, and it's just a lot. We had a lot of these skirmishes that didn't amount to much in the end. Kind of just a bit of a trade-off. No, neither player really winning or losing here.
Yeah, and once the Goatee come through, this troll threat, which was really big, Matador was dealing with it nicely, but this troll threat starts to become not a threat at all, and you get into this weird position where really like neither player can do a whole lot. This Fimbulwinter from El Matador was great, but with Rapple on the offense here, funnily enough, the Fimbulwinter actually from Rapple was the better one.
I wonder how this would have went if Matador had placed his markets down the bottom instead of on the top right. Because that trade route would have been extremely safe. And there's no way that
Yeah.
Rebel would have been able to disrupt that unless he could penetrate through all of the defenses that Matador has set up. I
Yeah,
think
and there was
still,
also a huge amount of food in the bank right now for El Matador, and I almost guarantee you that he sold it all moving up until this point.
yeah,
Maybe not
true.
sold it all. He's spending 400 food every 15 seconds, so maybe that's not accurate at all.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, yeah, if he had the safer trade route, I wanted to see Fenris Wolves. I really think they would have done amazingly in this specific moment, but you have to be prepared to set up for it. I think there was time for El Matador to do that, but like get 2 temples, spam them out, have the food, get rid of that favor.
Well, this is the final battle that we see here. Wow, we don't even get to see it. Fine, we knew how it
No,
ended. So,
well,
what are we
it's
going into now? Step
that's right.
Uranus versus Ra. And this could be the
Ooh,
last step for the Rebel to clinch victory.
it could be, but guess what? So we've already seen El Matador played this matchup once, and he played it against the GOAT. He played it against 3-time winner, S tier Age of Mythology Retold winner, the Mister.
And he came
And
close, didn't he?
I actually feel like I think he played it as well as he could up until the point where he was not decisive. And I think he'll have learned from that position. I think he would have studied that recorded game really hard and probably come up with, oh, yeah, this is what I need to do. So Rapple is a different player than the Mister. Yes, they played each other quite a bit in practice. They're going to have a similar playbook, but I wouldn't be surprised to see the Rapple go a very different way in this game. But I also wouldn't be surprised to see Rapple go the exact same way. That might be a bit of a mistake.
Yeah, I wonder what even did. Can you remind me what did Matador do? Was it Prometheus, and he built more Chiroballs than what you would usually see, or something?
No, it was Prometheus. Yeah, I don't think it was anything about Cryoballister. He won.
Okay.
He had a great early game fight, and he just couldn't get through the Wadgets. And then he was considering going Heroic Age, and then he started fighting in the Classical Age. And he had like I want to say 1,300-ish resources in the bank, and Mister had 0 resources in the bank. And obviously,
Okay.
if that's the position and you're taking a fight at 10 minutes into the game, then that's just it's not going to go well for you.
Who do you favor here? If you had to pick a god on this matchup, who would you rather play as?
Well, I'm biased. I think Uranus is I think Atlantean is very difficult for Egyptian to beat. But that's from my side where I play Egyptian and I lose to the Atlantean players all the time. But I also beat the Egyptian players when I play Atlantean, so I feel like there's bias here a little bit, but
Okay.
I think I prefer the Uranus, but maybe other people will disagree.
We've seen the top players, so I'm thinking primarily of Recon and Mister here. Whenever they play this Egyptian versus Atlantean matchup, they always just spam out units in the Classical Age, and then they add to it a bunch of Wadgets. And somehow they always just manage to win every single bit of skirmish there is. And then you've got that Shifting Sands ability. You can really just sit on that second gold mine, and you can use the Shifting Sands to have the mobility if your opponent ever goes for a sneaky gold mine somewhere else on the map. It seems to just work out really well whenever they do it.
Well, I mean, it's two chances for El Matador in this tournament to play against Ra on step.
Yeah.
This is something that I think a lot of the top players talk about when they're talking about this draft format, that oftentimes you see the drafts going a certain way. You start seeing certain matchups popping up quite a bit inside of this draft format. And I imagine that everyone is well versed in Uranus versus Ra or Ra versus Uranus because it seems like it's just one of those matchups that pops up. So
I
I
think
guess we'll
Shockwave
see.
is going to be important to look at.
Yeah.
So a good Shockwave into heroes targeting down the wedges. I think that's going to be important if Matador can make that happen. See how this game goes.
Alrighty, as this is tournament life on the line right now for El Matador. He is going up against TheRapl's Ra here. As Rapple does spawn in the blue color at the bottom of the map, and El Matador gets the top of the map here. I guess it's time to look at how the map spawns. El Matador, I would say, a little bit unlucky here. Both players unlucky to some degree. Afford gold mines.
Was it Matador who built a granary immediately, or what was I think of another game?
I believe that was Tunison against the
Hmm.
Misters Fushi. And
Okay.
I think, yeah, it made a lot of sense in that one for sure.
I wonder if it would make sense here because I don't see any early aggression working out on such a big, wide map here.
I, I'll tell you what I prefer. I prefer the oracles, not the
Ah,
economic upgrades. But economic upgrades are also a great option for sure.
yeah, yeah.
You can get like a 420 or something with both hand axe and pickaxe with Uranus, no problems.
I don't know if you can. I don't know. Haven't practiced with that, but I do know you can easily get a 350 advance, and then if you put a bunch of villagers on gold early on, it's very easy to fit in 3 oracles, and then from there
Yeah.
you just manage your economy so that you can get a counter barracks and a military barracks early on, and you're really, really well set for the next many minutes with that economy that you set yourself up with there.
Yeah, and it's nice because you get the favor for Shockwave, the favor for Valor, the favor for Prometheans, and all of these things are things that you really, really need. So, especially against Wadgets and stuff like that, you know how the Wadgets work. They're doing damage, but they got a lot of back end damage with the poison. When the
Yeah.
Prometheans die, all of a sudden that poison is cut. So they have to start again on the mini Promethean offsprings, and they can be really good to actually take out those Wadgets.
And dude, you have 5 wedges in the back, let's just say, and you're facing 20 baby Prometheans and 10 big Prometheans. How are you
Yeah,
ever gonna micro your way out of that? It's
it's a
low
tough one.
key impossible.
Well, we are seeing Prometheus come in. It is a pretty quick advance time from El Matador, which I'm somewhat surprised to see. You're playing against Ra. There's really no threat early game, but he's going to be wanting to just get those units going. Sometimes this fast advance isn't about getting any damage done. It's more about I just want to get my military going, so we're just going to keep pumping units out. But yeah, I don't know if it matters that much in this matchup. I think a later advance makes a lot more sense to me, but
Yeah,
we're seeing Bar coming through for Rapple. Yes, go on.
the more I think about this, like 330, I think that's way too early. The more I think about, I would prefer what you said, 420, or dude, even what is it? What even are we up to then? 455 with both eco upgrades, and then on top of that, you add 3 oracles as well. I don't think it's
Oh
early
yeah.
aggression. What is it going to amount to? We'll see. Matador, he might make something happen here. He's building. He's got himself the Promethean here. He's getting the alluvial clay. He's building the two counter barracks. So
Okay. And this
good.
is a little bit different. He might be going into like mass terma, which I do. It used to be. It absolutely counted this early game strategy, and you can put tons of pressure onto your opponent. But now, as the Terma move at 5.0 speed, it's a little bit more difficult to make it work. It's still possible though. We'll see how El Matador is going to control it.
I think if he was versus China, this would be sort of like a meta play to make because the Termas count as priests. Sorry, the Termas count as pioneers, but they don't count as priests. So that's the big difference here. Is that the Termas will be decent, all right, versus priests. They're not going to be amazing.
And Rapple trying to build up his little defense here. He's going to take a little bit of damage. The Terma ball starting to amass. A couple of Wadgets already in. As the Valors will slowly start to come down on these Terma. He needs those. to be heroized to actually take out these Wadgets. And when you get 3, 4, 5, 6 Terma heroes, all of a sudden the Wadgets become a lot less scary.
Oh yeah, yeah. And Matador is just deciding to use his valor for military value, which means that he will be definitely able to. He doesn't have to fear the wedges as much as he would otherwise. You see players like Chemo really valuing the valor on citizens, so he can get the theft of fire. But Matador, he's going for the 330 advance, double Terma. He's valorizing the Terma rather than the citizens. Big aggressive play here from Matador.
Yeah, and now we are actually seeing RaPl moving away from away from the Spearman and actually away from the mass Wadgers. He actually says, let's get some slingers in here, as mass slingers do indeed beat the mass Terma. However, if you can bait out mass slingers, then there's the Contarius angle to go for.
Yeah, that's very true. And something that you can easily get baited into is ending up in a situation where you have X-Men and Slingers, and then, yeah, like you said, the Contarius is just going to overrun you with that unit composition.
Also, Chaos as well is a scary thing.
Chaos,
keep in the back of your mind.
Yeah. No units going down here. No Oracles killed, no Spearmen killed, but some damage.
We have a very scary unit now, Soup, right? Caraballister in. There are Slingers, but it's Caraballister hero. And this guy can just kind of sit here and just poke, pull back, snipe off the Slinger.
Ooh, look at the micro here.
Pull back. And this is El Matador at his best right now. Nice snipe. He's gonna make. Doesn't quite lose a Terma, but yeah, this is what he needs to be doing. And RaPl has to figure out how to defend this.
Yeah, RaPl is investing heavily into Spearmen, so I do like the Caraballas coming in from El Matador. Only 4 Slingers here at the moment, and how many? 7 Woodchoppers for RaPl. So that's definitely really good for him. Doesn't have that adds of web since he went through Tar, but still 6 on wood at the moment with that Ra empowerment. Obviously, it's gonna amount to a lot. He will have many Slingers out before long.
Yeah, and this is very, very difficult to control. I find the Caraballister so hard to use against these Slingers. You make one misstep, you can lose them, and they are a lot of resources. With the Valor, they're less resources, but still, it's very, very difficult to make it work. But one thing I do like from what El Matador's doing is he's containing RaPl in his base, and he's grabbing this Sky Passage on this right-hand corner. And this effectively means normally, if you're going to be sitting in your place playing defensively or whatever, the Ra player is going to get out onto the map. There's going to be obelisks everywhere, and it's going to be really, really challenging for you to get these sneaky Sky Passages. But in this situation, Matador's got the initiative, so he can take that gold mine and he can start mining it, leaving gold in his main base for later. Absolutely love it. This is exactly what you're supposed to do with this god, Ranus.
Beautiful play. I wonder if that'll ever come into play as the game progresses. 2,000 gold mines sitting there very, very safely for El Matador. We certainly are seeing RaPl getting a very, very big military out now. And I think we're reaching the point now where RaPl will win a big skirmish if there is one.
There is still a Shockwave to keep in the back of your mind in any sort of a fight, which can turn everything on its head. If a good Shockwave comes in, there are a ton of Prometheans as well. There's basically 0 favor in the bank for El Matador, so he's been spending it all on Valors and Prometheans to go through this. Also making himself those Murmillos. But yeah, these fights, it's going to be very, very difficult.
He's only got 3 oracles, so I think potentially that's going to be a bit of an issue. He has invested into alluvial clay, so if he got those oracles out, they would pay for it themselves in no time.
Yeah. Oh, there's the obelisk spam starting to come through. I don't think El Matador needs to worry about anything here. He's like he could just push back into his Sky Passage, be outside of his base for the time being. This slow army of the RaPl going to get some pressure on, but really El Matador going to get snipes with his Caraballas. He's got to be careful with the positioning. He's got
my god,
his control is so good.
Yeah, but the Termas just missing everything. He had like 20 Termas shooting 60 spears, and he couldn't take down a single spearman. Hello?
This is ballistics control.
Yeah.
Got to get the units attacking the right way.
Kyrie is huge here. 3 hero Kyrie. He will be able to fend off any spearman that overextends. Rebels, good job sending slingers there just to defend the spearmen if they ever get near.
But just losing some houses on the front, that's never nice. It's never good. The army is done. I think that El Matador just needs to sit in his main base, even just jump into the sky passage to some degree so he doesn't lose any units, and just get to full population here.
Is that what he's waiting for? 175 pop, because he's there now, isn't he? Almost, anyways.
TheRapl is. El Matador is very far behind.
Oh my god, you're right. I didn't see that. Ah, okay. This is actually crazy military discrepancy. That's like almost 50 in favor for TheRapl of military population. Oh wait, of total population, I should say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's nothing here for TheRapl to really do. Though. This is the thing. El Matador's not defending anything. He's defending his military barracks and his manor, but all the economy is on the right-hand corner of the map. In fact, there's Hunt over there. He could be on that as well if he wanted to be.
Rebel's scouting it now. It seems like, yeah, he's sending spearmen over there, so he's gonna know it. But you know,
but now you can just jump into the sky passage, defend, and then TheRapl has to shifting sands over there, and then you're in the middle of the map.
Even shifting sands, it seems like a big waste because
you can just run away. It's not a good way to go.
No. These back and forths are so micro intensive. So even though we don't see any big battles, even though we don't even see any units dying, this is requiring a lot of awareness by both of these players. Finally, we do see a unit going down, 2 units going down in total. Not much.
Literally just a trade of 1 for 1 there.
Yeah. 2 higher caravels.
Be careful of those caravels. Oh my! So one misstep and you lose a huge amount of power there.
Yep. Yeah, the slingers.
I've seen the heroic age for TheRapl as well.
Ooh, and a segment. So he's going for that Slings of the Sun upgrade, allowing the slingers to beat not only archers, not just only Kyrie ballistas, but also the Mamillos, the Fanatics. Probably exaggerating if I said they also beat destroyers, but they're very versatile unit when you get that upgrade.
Yeah. One thing that I've just seen in the chat by Clanmate, one weakness of getting to this full population here is that you're not able to build villages. So El Matador's economy here is getting bigger. TheRapl's isn't. And now El Matador, all of a sudden, is at full population. Yep. He is ready to take a fight. And TheRapl, he's going to have to retreat back. TheRapl's actually going for a second town center as well. Yes, he is.
Dude, the big issue with Segment is you spend 1,200 resources and you don't get a power spike. There's no power spike. TheRapl hits heroic, and there's just nothing he can do about it. This is a good fight, I think, for Matador.
On the back. There doesn't look like there's that many slingers here, which will mean that the army of TheRapl is just going to get brutalized.
Oh my god, that's
shifting sands. Where is he? What is he doing when he loses? Okay.
TheRapl had his spread formation on there, so I don't know. In the end, it actually worked out for him because the Matador's unit stopped chasing. So all in all, quite all right. But it looked a bit sketchy there.
Yeah, 58 and now to El Matador, he can just start saying, "All right, we'll go heroic age. We can start moving out onto the map. We've kind of got, we've asserted that we're ready, and we're completely fine to take fights now. A lot of those Wadgets have fallen, and any villager losses here for TheRapl are gonna hurt."
He's got 2 town centers now, though. He is not producing any military at the moment, except for 1 slinger, just so he can start pumping out those villagers. So I think he is aware of the situation that sitting on full population without any villagers getting out from your town center is not a good place to be in. He's getting a lot now.
Yeah, those villagers
what is
are
this?
spotted by an oracle. He spots those villagers nicely here.
What even is TheRapl building here? It's like a barrack market.
Market.
It's a huge raid. Hello.
The army is coming up here, though. I mean, can he actually fight, though? He's going to have Slings of the Sun.
Hyperion is coming in.
Yeah, there's going to be a chaos, which is brutal. These units are in a great position. El Matador has been controlling this army so precisely for so long here.
That raid came seemingly out of nowhere. Was it even necessary for TheRapl to lose that many villagers at that point?
Well, he was on the other gold mine, and he made a move to the top for some reason. I think maybe he felt like a raid was coming. But the Oracle was sitting there and spotted it. So El Matador just kind of is like, hello? What are you doing here?
Well, Matador, he's getting himself heavy infantry. He's pre-queued heavy archers. Probably looking for those 2 upgrades to kick in before looking for a real engagement, because we see Rabel's army very well teched at the moment, only missing that heavy slinger upgrade.
And Heart of the Titan's also coming. I love this technology personally. It allows you to convert heroes basically in the battlefield with no problems, because they'll take nearly zero time to convert. So if you ever find yourself needing some heroes in a pinch, you just go, great, we're in, let's go. As we do see there's chaos, a nice little spread formation here from TheRapl, but Matador spots it, and he's going to be engaging in. There's going to be a shockwave as well after the chaos is done.
Oh my
Dropping
God.
that one in. The Caraballs are cleaning up a ton of those spearmen here. Rappel's population is dropped down to 140 already here, as this looks like an incredibly good fight for El Matador.
What an engagement. The chaos onto the shockwave, and while that's going on, the micro on the Terma is pitch perfect. The slingers are going down to the counter units of the Termas. Beautiful engagement by Matador, and now Rebel's in trouble, has to retreat on his gold mine there.
Yeah, there is a perfectly safe gold mine up near his citadel, sends it to the top, but now El Matador can do whatever he wants. He can grab 3 town centers here, put a palace down and go Mythic Age. He could just grab all his technologies. Whatever he wants, he can do it. But like, he's breaking the citadel is going to be hard. He needs Fire Siphon or a ton of destroyers. He does have a whole bunch of Prometheans, which could work to break through the Migdol. We'll see. It's not going
to break through the citadel like you're saying, but yeah, the Migdol, that's definitely an option. And dude, if you can do that, there's a gold mine right next to it, and that's the only one that Rebel's sitting on right now. You can force Rebel to react to this, and I'm not sure if Rebel is in a position to beat this kind of army. It's huge.
Yeah, it is absolutely gigantic. The villagers, however, if you can get those onto those Caraballas,
that's good for Rebel.
It's very, very scary. It's a great little engagement. They're also Skin of the Rhino villagers, most likely. They're so super powered. As the Caraballas are going to go down, the Prometheans, on the other hand, there's really not that many priests here to deal with all of those. But El Matador's population has fallen, and now he has to transition into some units that are not from the counter barracks. He's going to be going into Contarius. He's going to be going into Murmillos and Arcus, and it looks like even after all is said and done, Rappel's the one who loses all of his army.
Well, he loses his army and his villager army too.
Exactly.
He's sitting on 46 villagers now, despite being on 2 TCs for quite a while. He's struggling to keep up in economy. Matador is only 64. I don't know. He could have potentially been more, but I don't know. He's been focusing so much on economy. And very vital to recognize here too, Rebel didn't get any gold during that entire struggle. And even now, he's only got 9 gold miners.
Yeah, it's this very, very difficult position. We see some units running into the main base. Going to be throwing those away, unfortunately. Those villagers most likely going to get 1 or 2 kills, but losing a little bit there. What really is the problem is the gold situation. Where can Rapple get gold?
Well, not there, because there's so many heavy Contarius here. He doesn't have Thea. He doesn't have the cheaper Contarius with that very nice slow ability, but still, these Contarius are really, really good units, especially if there's not that many Spearmen in the mix for Rebel. And dude, Rebel, he cannot go to these farms anymore. He'll have such a hard time getting enough food for Spearmen, let alone getting the gold for the remaining army that he has to make.
Yeah, and at the moment, I mean, El Matador, he is respecting this Citadel. It is so hard to crack the Citadel. I think he probably can kill it here with the current 100 population he's got, but he's being very respectful of it here.
Yeah, there's no
a little bit lucky.
I think he's realized, I think Matador is realizing he's so far ahead in economy. Not only that, Rebel doesn't have access to a gold mine, so why bother? Well, at this stage, when you've got such a big army versus literally nil, of course you want to do it, but before that, yeah, there's no reason to risk it.
Yeah, the army is coming in for the Rapple again, and we'll see if this is going to be any sort of a pull-off. There's just not that many units, though. No. And El Matador, he says, no worries, I'll come over here and fire you. This is fine. All good. And remember, he's got that Heart of the Titan, so all of those Arcus in one breath can turn into Hero Arcus and kill any sort of myth units that get created.
Well, it's not even needed. Seems like
No,
the
it's not.
satyr and the rest of the army is enough for Matador. Ladies and gentlemen, we got ourselves a game number 5.
That's what we're all about here. Two of the most fierce competitors I think we've seen thus far. That is an incredibly well played game from El Matador. These guys trading blows as we grind down to the 5th game. What a game that one was. It was just so well controlled, executed, and everything. It just looked, I don't know, like compared to what we saw El Matador play against the Mister, which did feel a little bit out of control. This game, El Matador was just like, this is my strat, this is my control, and I'm just going to be playing into it. And Rapple just couldn't get an inch in this game.
It looked like he was in a good position. I'm excited to see the replay here as we get along. I think for a long time, I thought Rebel was doing just fine. But at some point, there comes a big, yeah, see, like this, Rebel's putting on the pressure here.
Yeah.
Vitally, obviously, over on the right side, Matador is on a sky passage with a gold mine nearby. I think here's a nice little skirmish. I don't think it was the big one, was it? Oh, no, it's one of the big ones.
This was a nice fight here for El Matador, where it wasn't like an outright victory for him. He gets like enough to force with the Caraballister coming in. He gets enough to force Rapple back, and I mean,
Right.
population wise, it's pretty close here. He's shifting sands away. It's still, I would say, relatively equal here, but the big one was catching these villagers out, and then also once the chaos comes in, this little movement here from Rapple bringing all his units into one little pocket, and El Matador pounces, and then the shockwave right after it all ends, and it's just like there's so much idle time for so much population there, and by the time his actual army starts attacking, he's already down by like 40 population.
Brutal. Dude, that chaos into shockwave, and sometimes you can even add into it a carnivore too.
Yeah,
It's so sick. It's a bit of a comeback here from Rebel. The villagers on top of the Caraballister, whenever you can manage a fight like this, always good to take it.
Yeah, those Caraballister, they're so potent, but they're so tricky. You have to keep them away from garrisonable buildings. You have to keep them away from slingers. You have to keep them away from siege. You have to keep them away from crush damage dealing god powers. There's so many weaknesses to this unit. And I mean, I credit where credit's due. El Matador controlled them amazingly for 17 minutes in this game before Rapple sacked like 20% of his economy to take them out.
Yeah, exactly. So even though it looked like Rebel did a lot of damage, which he did, he also took a lot of damage himself, and he was not getting any gold himself during the process. So all in all, it led to this point where Matador was sitting at 175 population, Rebel struggling to get past 110, and forced to take a fight like this. Nah, it's not going to work.
Well, there's one more game to come. Soup, one more map for today. You win this one, you go on to the next round, get another little bit of a chance here. You lose this one, there's no more games for you. You're out. It's going to be Zeus, it's going to be Loki, it's going to be on Elysium. Yeah.
It's going to be a banger matchup, this Loki versus Zeus on Elysium. This has gone either way, this particular matchup. We definitely saw Mr. yesterday just making this look incredibly easy on Zeus. But who was it earlier today that lost with Zeus versus Loki? I forget. Because so many games.
Too many games.
Either way, it's a matchup which I'm not sure which god this exactly favors.
I think this is a skill matchup, and it's been a skill matchup for the longest time. And it's just, if you've got to know the way through it, and you got to know all the weaknesses, and having an in-depth knowledge of exactly where your problems are. And even then, there's going to be problems coming your way.
Oh yeah, and that both of these gods have so many options available to them. I think most local players pretty much looking to go for Seti Bragi into a big power spike. That doesn't mean that's all that Loki can do, but I do believe someone like Rebel probably playing that quite standard. But then on the Zeus side of things, we can see all kinds of things. We can see, obviously, the big bronze restoration attack into a gold mine control or something like that. Or we can see the underworld passage. Or you can see a fast Mythic, you can see a 2 TC boom, you can see 1 TC boom. There's so many options for Zeus. So many things you have to be there ready and prepared to react to if you're the Loki player.
I just wanna ask, because I know you probably played a little bit more of the Chinese than I have so far. El Matador does have this Fuxi god in reserves here. I think you can pretty well say that TheRapl is gonna pick Loki on Elysium 9 times out of 10. That Hades there, it doesn't come onto Elysium very often.
Yeah.
Do you think Fuxi versus Loki is something that went through El Matador's mind, or is it just not? It's not there, and maybe he was just using that as a little bit of a ban to keep it away from TheRapl.
I think Fuxi is amazing into Loki. I see no way that a well-played Fuxi is ever going to lose to Loki on Elysium. I wonder if Matador just doesn't play that god.
Yeah, you've got the Pioneers with divine damage. You've got the what are they called? Fire Archers. You've got
Halberdiers.
Chukonu, Halberdiers. It's just got everything that you need. And you've got Vanish as well. Say a Flaming Weapons comes your way. Don't worry, I'm not there anymore.
Yeah, but I don't know. I guess Matador just hasn't played much China. That's my guess.
I think you're probably right. And when it comes down to it, comfort pick, game 5, Zeus. He knows Zeus. He has played this matchup and lost against the Mister again. So he's already had some practice with it and knows exactly what not to do. And
so see if he made it work on Step. So will he make it work on Elysium? Zeus versus Loki. Let's get this started.
Game 5, ladies and gentlemen. For all the marbles, well, at least for the marbles to get into the next round. In the right-hand corner, TheRapl playing as Loki. In the left-hand corner, El Matador playing as Zeus. An incredibly well-played series up to this point. Soup, talk me through this one. It's been a long day, but we've got one more game and one more exciting story to tell.
All right, so we're starting here from TheRapl's point of view. I like that. We're seeing the immediate spy on this gold mine of Matador, seemingly not really caring to try to fake anything here. He's just saying, I'm spying your gold miner, and that's it. I'm out of here. And I do like that we're seeing this from the Loki perspective, because I think what we want to see from the Loki player here is something like a maybe 4-15 advance. You want to build your temple at home, and then you need to react to what the Zeus player is doing. So having that spy on the gold miner allows you to see, are we getting a 2 TC boom? Is it going to be Athena, Hoplite Toxotes? Is it going to be Minotaur spam? Whatever it is, the Loki player will be able to react to it properly. And what it requires is, I think, 4-15 advance, and then just having the units nearby ready to do whatever is the right choice. For Matador, he's got his Catascopus right on the Hunters as we speak, and he's going to be able to scout the gold mine down the bottom, realizing that I don't think the initial gold mine is going to be much of an issue for TheRapl to defend.
No, I mean we've seen the matchup already. Like we don't what was it, the Oasis game? It was Lukey versus TheRapl actually.
Oh yeah,
right. And it finally came back to me, and it's just it's impractical to be putting pressure on super early, right?
Yeah. It's too long a walk, basically, to get there.
Yeah. The only real thing that El Matador could do is go for Bull Minotaur.
Yes.
If he wants to.
And actually, good time now to look at the gold mines for TheRapl. He's got gold mine left, right, and center, but at the same time, they're quite exposed. Neither of them are really safe and secure. Grabbing a town center is not going to do too much, unless he maybe get a hold of that one over on the left side, which I very much doubt he will. So definitely see that as an option. Goes for both sides, actually. Getting to that secondary gold mine will be contested, and it's going to be a struggle for both of these players to keeping up in production, having enough of an army out, and that's going to be a big issue this game.
Yeah, this second gold mine for Loki is always one of those big, scary things. El Matador is going to have restoration. He can just mass units, and if you can put a little bit of pressure on somewhere, just not taking any fights, but just massing up, you can just go ahead and get in onto that spot, claim it, And then when Rapple wants to move out of his base and go into a gold mine, it's just restoration, and it's going to be lights out. We're going to do a quick little pop out here to fix up a little bit of some in-game problems happening in the playback. So we'll get back straight into the game as fast as humanly possible.
We
Just
can
having
talk
some
about
technical difficulties.
the advance times. Rebel going for a 4-minute advance, Matador going for a 4-minute and 15. And it was indeed Forseti for the Rebel and Athena from Matador. So nothing out of the ordinary there. I will say though, 4-minute advance from the Rebel, I love playing Loki. I always, if I do a 4-minute advance, I struggle a bit with getting the production buildings up. I usually don't have the wood for it. So I've come to the conclusion, I go for a 4:15, and that allows me to have that extra bit of wood so that I can get 2 great halls, 2 long houses. That's always what I go for when I play Loki. It's so versatile. You can easily react to what your opponent is doing. So we'll see if Rebel gets there still.
It's nice to have the options up, right? Not only do you go, like, if I see a Norse player go double Great Hall, I say, oh, he's either going for raiding cavalry or he's going for Hersa. That's all I have to worry about. But if I see a Norse player go double Great Hall, double Longhouse, I go, oh, bugger, now I actually have to scout and turn my brain on. So yeah, it's quite nice if you can go that route.
Yeah,
at least for the early game.
If you're against 2 great halls, all you need is hoplites on your important positions, whether you're hunting outside, whether you're maybe chopping wood at a difficult spot. You know that all you need is hoplites on those positions, and then eventually you get enough of an army, and you'll be able to eventually overcome the Norse army. But yeah, if there's throwing Axemen in the mix as well, you need not only units on your prime positions, on your gold mine, your wood chopping operation, your hunting position, whatever. You also need to be able to have a big army in case Loki goes for a big push with a varied army. So yeah, versatility is key for Loki.
Well, anyways, we're back into the game. You're right. We are seeing that faster advance time from TheRapl. So no versatility to kick it off, but he does have the very clear vision into the main base of El Matador. He goes, hang on, you got 2 villages on favor? You got 3 villages on gold? What are you doing? I mean, there's not really many different things you can be doing with 2 villages on favor. It's either going to be Centaur or it's going to be Minotaur. And we know, because we can see, that it's going to be a very quick Labyrinth of Minos, and this very well might be a cheeky little bit of a homage to the Mister. Matador sees the strat and says, hey man, I like it. Let's go for it.
See that relic? That's the Zeus relic, if there ever was one. Already now, hoplites deal 1.5 multiplier versus buildings. With this, it's going to be 1.7. I don't know how much of a difference it makes, but it's just cool. There's some synergy here, right?
I mean, anytime you stack bonus on bonus, it's always really good, right? Like you see it with, you see it with Loki when you get the Hersa movement speed. You see it with like Poseidon when you get the cavalry movement speed, or you see it with Ra when you get the cavalry movement speed. It can only mean good things.
For sure. It's fun either way. If he does actually manage to get the hoplites on top of buildings, I'm sure we'll see the effect is going to be very noticeable.
Yeah, there is a sneaky red dot at the very bottom of the map right now. I'm very interested in. That's a Minotaur, and that's going straight in. There's already a wall up.
And the house
Matador's going to be so careful with how he enters this base. But TheRapl is fully walled up. TheRapl knows this opening. I'm sure it's not a surprise. This isn't anything super new, even though you see Mr. doing something, you're like, it's super new. Mr. actually had this strategy done to him in, I believe, Genesis with Recon. Recon actually did it to him on the main stage, Zeus versus Hades on a Blue Lagoon map. So everyone knows everything.
Incredibly, can we see that Rebel base down the bottom once again? Just see that for all players to see. This is how you defend your base. One gate like this, a long house, a temple, and there's a tower and a new house, and you have free wood chopping operation, free gold mining operation, and your enemy cannot go through there with this Minotaur. And it's barely any investment from Rebel in doing so. Really beautiful job.
Yeah. Now, but here on out, right? The threat is a distraction somewhere, say with a hoplite, just hitting, I don't know, random house, and the Minotaur sneaking in. You can get the Minotaur onto a gold mine, if you can get the Minotaur onto a wood line or onto the food out of the base. Very, very scary.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And with even just 5 hoplites here, with that
Yeah, with
relic,
this,
we're seeing the
yeah, that's
damage,
going
right?
down quick.
He's forcing a reaction, and like you said, this opens up the possibility for this Minotaur to really get some damage dealt. I think Rebel is on the case over here, but the special attack does go off.
Yeah, gets a little bit of damage. Doesn't really do anything. It's still fine, but you know, a couple of little bits of damage here and there, it can be a very big problem as the temple goes down, and that's actually kind of big. Now this base is open, and TheRapl needs to get over here and do something, as El Matador probably needs to retreat back. He's overstayed his welcome a little bit too long here.
Yeah, losing a hoplite, maybe even 2. Ooh, doesn't manage to pull those units away.
He runs in with the Minotaur. It's going to be bolting a troll there. As he can run up to the top side of the map, there's probably not a whole lot of units, maybe 1 or 2 Hersa there to try and hit that other hunt, but looks like El Matador, he killed the temple, he lost some units, he has to pull back. I think TheRapl is well and truly defended this stage of the harassment, but it's never going to be finished. These Minotaur just keep running around, and this really gives El Matador all of the breathing room. He's going to get the walls up and sort everything out really nicely.
It's a good wall that he's got for himself there. He's also got pickaxe now, so I do think Matador was planning on just backing off there anyways. You know, getting that economic upgrade basically means you're letting the foot off the speed pedal there for a bit.
Yep.
So yeah, Rebel will be. Is Rebel on the forward hunt over there? He's on the berries, but is he up top as well?
He's had to pull back into his base. He's getting a little bit of favor in. Every little bit of favor counts. Especially, maybe you know this. Does that favor contribute? Can you get a myth unit spawn from killing hunt?
Can you? I should know this. This is embarrassing. You're putting me on the spot.
I'm sorry, because I don't know.
You're making a fool of me in front of everyone. I should know this.
You definitely get favor for killing off the animals, but I think maybe you do need to get actual damage to human units.
I
think it also does build.
I'm thinking back to like a marsh game of Watering Hole, and I think maybe I've actually spawned myth units like that.
Yeah, okay.
That's my answer, maybe. Is that good enough?
I like that. I think it's good enough.
Okay.
Right now, so far, TheRapl has basically caught El Matador's Minotaur out several times over here, but a nice little defense there keeps his Minotaur alive. He still can't really take any fights here, though. The army of both players is pretty scary, but it's all about positioning, as is always the case.
Rebel doing a good job with his Herser, killing the Catascopos, and he's going to get even more favor on top of these deer here. It's going to help him out a ton. Haven't seen any myth unit spawns just yet, so it remains to be seen. Nothing known just yet. Matador doing a good job on the secondary gold. He's built himself 3 very good walls there.
I love it. This is you have to do this when you're playing against Loki. These units move really quickly. Sure, Zeus can move quickly with the Minotaur and the hoplites as well, but yeah, you got to give yourself the time here. And now he can move over, react, and then probably rebuild the wall, as TheRapl will have to retreat away.
Is Matador going for the bronze play like we saw Mr. doing? Because you look at his economy, and Heroic Age doesn't look too far at the moment.
It's kind of, it's such a different map and match. It's not the same matchup, but it's a different map. Like, you're going to see all the walls coming up on this gold mine. It's very defensible. I think Matador, I mean, maybe it just makes more sense to get the bronze in, so then you don't have to worry about any sort of flaming weapons.
Oh, this is really bad for Rebel.
Huge
1 Herser
catch,
down.
2 Herser maybe. Yes.
It's not what Rebel wants here. He's already struggling for food. We saw him going on berries and chicken. It's not something you like doing when you're playing as Loki. 3rd Herser down. It's 240 food in total. And he's also looking to go heroic, so really bad timing for Rebel to lose his units there.
Yeah, we are seeing the Olympian parentage coming through for the heroes. This is, gotta be so careful not to. Nice dodge onto those special attacks from the trolls. Trying to take down the walls over here as he will be looking for a bit of a fight. Restoration is on the cards here. There's only a handful of Hersa on the front. There he goes on that restoration as one Minotaur to get a huge buck onto those thrown axemen. As the hoplites have been distracted off from the army, though, this might be good for TheRapl.
TheRapl is taking the fight now, and he's got a bunch of Hersas on top of these 3 Minotaurs, down to 2 now. And yeah, like you said, the hoplites were distracted. There's so many units in the back, 2 trolls as well. Valkyrie has been spawned, and it's looking like a really good fight for TheRapl here, I think.
It's very, very close, but a close fight can never be good when you're playing against Norse, because you're just giving them favor. Look at the favor in the bank for TheRapl right now. He's got 84.
Oh my god. Yeah, and the new Valkyrie spawn to boot. Bolt costs 55 favor. Matador is nowhere near. But it is actually Matador who actually manages to come out on top. Doesn't mean that he necessarily won the fight, but it just means that he's got the military presence as we speak.
Yeah. The big question is, look at the resources in the bank for TheRapl. He hasn't been spending.
Ooh,
he can
that's
go.
bad.
No, wow, he really hasn't been spending. He now decides to full go on something here. There's okay, get all my raiding cavalry, get all my throwing axemen. The wall's gonna get broken down, and El Matador looking for something. The villagers have snuck up to the top gold mine though, Soup.
How did they get there? Did they walk back and then up onto the gold mine? No, these are gatherers. He's actually looking for hunt, not gold. Interesting.
I think he's going for the top, very top gold mine.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Next level. Very good.
Minotaur taken out. Brutal. And at the moment, El Matador needs to be getting like Pegasus, scouting all around the map. This is the thing where, this is where I've lost to Loki players many times. They do the sneaky. You go, I've got the gold staff going, right? And all of a sudden you go, hang on, they've had a gold mine for the entirety of the game and I just didn't know about it.
And then on top of it, they'll actually start buying food just so they can go Mythic as well.
That's right.
It's infuriating. This is so, dude, what TheRapl is doing here is so incredibly risky. If Matador has the Pegasus flying around looking for this, it's so easy for him to take those 3 Minotaurs on top, and he can kill the entirety of that operation.
Yeah, killing off this temple though is going to be a big help. If he can kill it off quick enough, he denies Cave Troll. Oh, he doesn't quite get there. Well, it's not a big deal, but like that time matters because he's going to be wanting to use this 105 favor. Has to rebuild the temple. I mean, what do you go for? Do you go for trolls again, or you go for battle boars?
He's not okay. He's going heroic now. So what do you do? He's gonna. I think he's gonna have to go for trolls because he's got 8 gold miners up. Well, the gatherers up on that top gold mine, so it's ineffective. And dude, he's not getting to any other gold other than that. Matador has located something on the other gold mine, so Matador thinks he's got the gold control right now. It's just a hoplite, but he doesn't know about the operation with the 8 gatherers up here.
And I've seen so many tournament games just like games thrown by just not putting the effort into checking every single position. These players are so sneaky and they're going to be sneaky forever, but it looks like El Matador says, hang on, you don't have any answer for my Minotaur here. Where are your Hersa? I can just fight. He is charging under here. Bragi is about to come through.
Oh my god, Flaming Weapon's going to hit hard.
All the units are going to die before the Flaming Weapons even comes through, Sue.
Oh my god, that's the play here. He's getting all the unit kills before Flaming Weapons is even there, and now he's making the big retreat. TheRapl utilizing the town center to catch up, but the Minotaurs are using the headbutt. I don't know, this is so clutch.
Matador is not losing any units here. We will be seeing Goaty to come through. There's still huge amounts of favor. There's no temple though at the moment for TheRapl to use that, and he does have the kind of garrison maneuvers into that temple town center. So maybe Matador's not going to be able to finish the game here, but alarm bells have got to be somewhat ringing at the moment. You can't keep getting these units out. It shouldn't be happening. There's got to be gold coming in somewhere. El Matador has to get the Pegasus and start scouting. I mean, maybe he doesn't. He's full population. He may just kill all the buildings. It's fine.
Sure. But the Greek players out there, please, won't you please spend 50 food to favor on this quasi-omniscience unit. Hello. Oh, it's good micro there from Matador. Getting those Goldie away from their safe position, almost targeting them down with the Toxotes is huge. The Goldie are so essential for Rebel right now because he has to have an answer for the Minotaurs. Without it, the Throwing Axemen are just being used as ragdolls here.
Yeah. It is still scary though for El Matador. I mean, we hear a lot of players talking about it. Toxotes in the classical age without ballistics, you know, I think they're actually okay, but they get a lot better once you get ballistics in.
Oh yeah, they do. Yeah, and well, I don't know, when you're targeting stuff like Goldie, Throwing Axemen, these are immobile units, and even when they do move, I think they're still likely to hit most of their arrows. So maybe versus those units it doesn't matter too much, but versus Hersers, versus Raiding Cavalry, Berserks, units like that, it's essential that you get that ballistics upgrade.
Yeah, and now the trolls are starting to come through. There's so much favor in the bank here for the TheRapl, and El Matador is pulling back. The Goldie are out. I think El Matador just needs to get to the next stage. He just has to, well, one, he has to realize that there's gold coming in somewhere because there's just too many units here. You can't have this many units and not be getting gold.
Oh, he's realized it. Look at the top.
Yeah, he does spot it.
Just a hoplite though, but it's enough to put Rebel off of this gold mine, and he's going to lose one or at least two villagers in the process, I think. But low-key managing to push here. Rebel maybe finding his way to the middle gold mine instead. Really good reaction with these 10 hoplites. They'll be able to do a lot of damage to these gatherers.
Those gatherers should all be down, all be killed off. And we've already seen one game with TheRapl pulling it back from the brink to some degree. El Matador here, getting to the heroic age, getting to the mythic age. He's got such huge military advantage, but can he take a fight at this stage against the trolls?
He's got 10 vills. He's got 10 vills in favor right now, so he's getting to that 100 favor stage. And if he gets a new restoration, yes, the answer is definitely yes. He can take a fight.
Yeah, the villagers moving up to the top position here. TheRapl is going to be really searching for this, for any raids. Any villager kills here are huge, but there's a lot of villagers here. You can just turn around and shank.
Yeah, great move by Rebel nonetheless, but there's so many Minotaurs here for Matador, and that's going to be rough for Rebel to deal with.
Well, Matador going to be throwing away some hoplites here. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Look at the queue. He's got so many. A bolt getting dropped down onto
55 favor.
That's going to be slowing down the restoration you were talking about, as he's got a pretty interesting technology to come through against Norse. Aegis Shield. He wants that because of the Goldie, I guess.
Yeah, it must be. Wait, so this is Matador forcing a fight without Resto, without Bronze, and he's just so confident in his ability to just use regular units to take this victory. There's 5 Minotaurs, 4 now. It's a lot of Goldie actually targeting down the Minotaurs.
Yeah, the military differential here is just too big population-wise. 175 pop. TheRapl falling down to 80 pop here, and El Matador is looking like he's running away with this. I don't think there's 12 villagers on gold somewhere on the map right now for TheRapl, so he's trying to fight his way, sneak his way back into this game. But I don't know if there's any angle anymore because he's so far behind on villagers and military mostly.
He's losing out on trolls too, and this is really bad for him because he's invested a lot into it. It's one of the saving graces of TheRapl here. He had so much favor accumulated, but it seems like he's just spent it all on trolls, which is slowly dying now. So he's running out of options at this stage.
I mean, these trolls, one good throw is all you need. But El Matador, he hasn't really made a misstep in this series, like in terms of his actual army. Very, very rarely has he put his army in a position where it's going to get erased. And now fighting underneath the town center.
Dude, Matador, he's on top of his game. He sees this troll space coming and immediately splits his army. Really well done. He has to retreat here though. But still, he's making a new Minotaur. He's still producing a ton of hoplites and Toxotes. He's getting both heroes out at the same time. And big Iron Harry spawn there. Just managed to get the special off. The classical age Toxotes, they're doing their job here.
Yeah, they're killing off those raiding cavalry.
They're just getting a bad rep. Or
I think they are. I think they're getting a bad rep. One problem here for El Matador is he doesn't have a lot of food in the bank. Running out of the actual hunt as he's
oh
running
my
all
god.
around to try and grab it.
Yeah, and he
Uh,
doesn't want to do the farm transition at all. He's gone to this location
There
now,
is
though.
one angle here, which is put everyone on wood and then put everyone on wood and then buy wood. Sorry, just put everyone on gold and buy wood, and then you can get yourself your farms out nice and quick. He's going for another town center here. It looks like.
Oh, maybe. Rebel potentially with a big raid. I think he just missed the hunting operation, unfortunately for him. But he's getting maybe a nicer round instead. These are unupgraded raiding cavalry, though. And when you
Yeah.
versus a fully upgraded Zeus army here with the bull minotaurs and everything, they look so naked in this scenario.
Yeah, but he's coming in onto the top here. He just doesn't have population to make this to make any fight work here. We see the walls getting taken down as the army going to be finding this gold mining operation over here. But TheRapl makes a quick move and he goes up onto the left-hand corner. This is going to be risky. But do you go to the left gold mine? Do you go to the south here? There has to be some sort of trickery here from TheRapl. You can't just go straight to the gold mine. There's no way that El Matador doesn't just walk over and check that right now.
Well, for now, a bit of a mistake here from Matador, getting some units caught here, but at the same time, he is noticing the operation over there. I even think he saw that in the lower vision of his, what you call line of sight there. Although TheRapl is getting it again.
yeah, he's done the tricky. I think he's got eyes in the forest. I don't know if it works on villages.
Oh, true.
Maybe you know. So he's gonna have a little bit more line of sight than otherwise.
Not only does it work on villagers, it works on ox carts too.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, I knew that one.
Don't tell me we're gonna start seeing. Don't tell me we're gonna start seeing ox carts just getting thrown all around the map now.
I was toying around with that when we had that nerf on the houses.
Yeah.
I kind of just got away from it. I don't know why. I'm bringing it back.
Don't tell. Just keep that one to yourself. All right. Don't tell anyone.
Okay.
Everyone on this stream only. Okay. No one else.
Keep it up. I'll keep it for the next tournament.
All right.
Dionysus hitting in for El Matador. He's sitting on 3 town centers now. Full lead popped at 205 population.
Yeah,
Heavy infantry coming in and another Minotaur. What do you say, boy?
I was about to say there's no rush here for El Matador. TheRapl has found himself back to full population, but there's no rush in the sense that heavy infantry, heavy archers, put the effort in, get these technologies, bit of patience, and then your army is just going to be unstoppable with a bronze. And there's also potentially going to be a restoration there as well. 20 more favored up. That's all he needs.
TheRapl, on the other hand, 16 favor. He is full pop, like you mentioned, with a bunch of trolls there. Maybe Odysseus out before he pulls that trigger. It's going to be huge. Either way, he's probably going to make it, don't you think?
Yeah, and we see ballistics as well. This is where these Toxotes stop. These Toxotes start becoming incredibly powerful.
Indeed. Indeed, they do. And now, I think maybe TheRapl getting a bit... actually forcing the bronze. 43 seconds off bronze. He's trying to run away from it, but the issue is there's a gold mine down the bottom, so sooner or later, TheRapl is going to have to take a fight here. I don't think he can run for the continuous 43 minutes that this bronze lasts for.
Well, maybe he can. He's got some great walls here.
Oh yeah, there's another one too. I didn't see that.
The problem is, does it even matter? Once the army gets onto this position, no bronze or bronze, it's a full Greek army with 20 more population.
Heavy archers in.
Heavy archers, heavy infantry. Ballistics is almost finished. TheRapl has to retreat.
Yeah, and once again, TheRapl left without a gold income.
Yep. And there's also a restoration here as well, just to add insult to injury.
Oh, true. Minotaur's going down to the trolls and the Goaty.
Yeah, that was a nice little special attack from there. But right on the next movement here, there's the restoration. And TheRapl, his army is not looking like it's going to be able to take this fight all too well. There's no heroes though for El Matador, which does make things a little bit more tricky. But heavy archers, I don't know, man. These things, they pack a punch.
We've talked about this before. Norse does not have a counter to the Toxotes at this stage, unless he's got something like 2 or 3 hill forts established. And
Yep.
Rebel's just been under so much pressure this game that, yeah, obviously he doesn't have that.
No, and now the villagers have to make a run for it, but they're all going to go down. And El Matador is not going to be letting them get out of here, chasing them down. Great control, great micro. Apple with not much left in the tank. 3 villagers on gold. He's trying to sneak a gold mine in the front, right in front of El Matador's eyes here. All the villagers going down, and I think it's just TheRapl and his thoughts to kind of accept what's happened here. He taps out. El Matador claims the win, and an incredibly well played series for both here, Soup.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
slightly
Really,
better for El Matador in the end there.
this has been a really cool series and a good comeback from Matador. He was down 2-1, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, just generally Matador, what a run he's had. Did he lose to Mister in round 1?
Yeah, he had the pleasure of playing the Mister, and yeah, he got it he got a taste of it. And I think after watching El Matador in this game, I think he learned a ton from that series against the Mist. I'm seeing him use those units in ways that I don't think I've normally seen him use the units. I always knew he's had like the fundamentals, the mechanics, but now he's starting to split armies and he's starting to control things in a different way, and it's really really fun to see. I think he's looking very powerful, very strong, and he's going to be a man to watch moving on in this tournament.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's so interesting what you said before both this and last game. He's played this matchup before, he's lost it. Will he be able to use the knowledge that he gained from those losses and transfer it into a win? And that's exactly what he did here.
Yeah, and there was just so many like little parts here that just went so well. This fight, you looked at it and you're like, yeah, this is an okay fight. It's kind of equal, but in taking an equal fight, generally speaking, you don't want to do that versus Loki. But it seemed to have just I don't know what happened towards the end of it, but it seemed like TheRapl, while he probably could have just pulled back once some things had stopped going his way, and he would have been really good, but he maybe overstayed it a little bit towards the very end, trying to outright win a fight. I don't know. What do you
I'm
think?
not even I don't even sure. I don't think Rebel necessarily misplayed here. It's just he got under so much pressure by these bull minotaurs. He tried getting things to work. Dude, I actually know it. He was sitting on, do you remember? He was sitting on like
Ah,
1100 food
yeah. A
and
classic.
400 gold, and he didn't get to the heroic age. He didn't produce hearses, nothing. I think that's the
Yeah,
big mistake insofar as Rebel.
yeah,
Yeah, could have improved on something this game.
yeah. There's that whole decisiveness factor. You've got to make a decision, and you just got to go with it. Are we going to the heroic age, or are we fighting? Like, if you're
Yeah.
fighting, let's get those units out. If we're not, okay, well, we're gonna pull back, and we're just gonna go to the heroic age. It's fine. But
Yeah, and if you
it's
don't know, then that's an issue too, because that means
yeah,
that you don't have a good grasp of the game. You don't know what's going on, what your opponent
yeah.
is doing, so you're not scouting well enough, or there's something wrong. So yeah, never a good sign to sit on that many resources early on.
But you got to say, after the 5 games
Bruh.
plus the series before that they had to play, there's a lot of Age of Mythology being played here, and the level absolutely through the roof. You can really tell when you're watching these games that, man, there is a place where Age of Mythology goes where it's just going to keep on getting better, and these games are absolutely awesome to watch.
Yeah, for sure. And it's only getting better from here on out. So what even are we entering into the next week? And can you remind me? It's going to be winner semifinals to begin
Yeah.
with.
And winners
Show
semifinals, we're gonna have the Mister versus Kavoth. Pretty
we'll get the brackets
crazy
one we
matchup. We will be
sure we can
watching the
find the brackets
brackets.
after this as we see
All
the
right, we'll go.
replays. We can just wrap
For
everything
sure.
up. I'm sure we'll get the brackets there.
Oh, man, there's so many games. I just want to. Oh, it's gonna be so much fun. There's gonna be so many good games to come. But man, that's like this is the thing, right? Like I mentioned it a couple of times. It's like when you're playing Norse versus Egyptian, you find an advantage and you have to kind of be really careful about it. When you're playing Greek versus Norse, it's the same thing. You've just got to be really careful about it. And I think El Matador, he probably felt like he was a little bit further in front than he was because he didn't realize there was a gold mine getting snuck.
Yeah.
But even so, he still was decisive, but carefully decisive in his movements. He realized there was a heroic age coming. He pushed in and he forced the defensive flaming weapons and all that good stuff. This bronze here, I mean, this just forces RAPL to run away, giving time to the El Matador to get that restoration and get him sort of choked up here. And this final fight here was, I mean, RAPL just has to somehow win this fight. He gets
It's too hard.
a brutal throw from the trolls here. But realistically, he needs to kill like 20 Toxotes with one foul swoop with those trolls to win this, because those thrown axemen don't counter anything that's left here. Those Godu don't counter anything that's left here. It's just the trolls doing damage.
I was
I mean,
looking at the
it's too
villages and I'm
much.
thinking, convert those to berserks. But then I'm thinking, he's doing that and they're just dying immediately to the Toxotes.
Yeah.
They're no
Yeah.
use.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Matador, 3-2. What a good series.
Yeah, and actually, so El Matador goes on to the lower bracket quarterfinals. He doesn't actually meet Magic, who won his lower bracket round 3. They're going to be actually facing up against the losers of the Mr. and Kavoth, as we see here. This is going to be a bit of a blockbuster weekend. Mr. and Kavoth, Recon and Chemo, and then all of the action that unfolds after that.
Yeah, so it's going to be some rough matches, not only in the winner's bracket, we're getting to the nitty gritty in the loser bracket too. And yeah, so that's actually these matches that we're seeing here. This is surely going to, yeah, it's going to be on Saturday, and then this will probably be Saturday too, won't it? I'm not sure.
We'll probably see this Saturday with six games being played most likely, right? We see the Mr. and Kavoth, we'll see Recon and Chemo, and then Matador versus the loser, Magic versus the loser. Actually, see 4 games there most likely, and then we'll see the 4 games the next day, I guess.
6 players remaining. 6 players remaining only. Mr. Kavoth,
Yeah.
Recon, Chemo, Magic, Matador. I think if insofar as there's a surprise here, it's got to be Matador. He's never fared this well in a tournament before. He's always been up there among the top players, but never this high.
Yeah, I definitely think he's leveled up. Not necessarily leveled up to say like he wasn't already really, really strong, but he's been doing things like playing some team games, which has really been pushing the like boundaries of what you can kind of do. I also note that Mr. also did this same thing. You get a lot of knowledge from playing team games about really random things that you wouldn't really think about in 1v1. So both of those guys going in onto that angle, plus a whole bunch of those, custom games has been training with and obviously playing with some of the really, really strong players throughout. But absolutely awesome series, day of Age of Mythology.